Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here with Jimmy Hapa, the man himself. Hey, Beast in the chat. What's up, man? What's up, John Smith?
That was very fast. It's like people are waiting all day for you to stream. You should do it more often.
I had no idea I was streaming today until we discussed it last night, I think. And it was at that point it was even an afterthought. Like, should we do this? You know, what's this going to be like? So let me get him on the main chat here.
Yeah, I see Kawika saying, uh-oh. Kawika knows there's trouble coming up. Mechanical Koopa, here we go. McGinty the second, too. Hi, all.
McGinty, what's up, Clint?
Yeah, you got a few people in here. Yeah, Clinton here. So I said the video quality on the our videos look a little blocky, but I don't know if that's just me.
It does seem that way. I was trying to set up OBS before, and I couldn't figure out what the heck to do. I wonder if there's anything I could change mid-stream.
Maybe. If not, you know, it's like we're in the game now. So
Yeah.
With the pixelization.
It's weird. It could also be, too, because it looks perfect in the OBS window, so it could also be that the fuzz on the screen and Mister is messing with it. Oh, boy, John Smith wants to start the stream off right. Look at this.
That's right.
All right, so the idea that we had for this is that I have a MiSTerCade set up here, which I will release a video on very, very soon that shows all of this stuff and how I made it, you know, the parts that I used, etc. But skipping past that, it's basically Mister inside an arcade cabinet, right? And when I was making that video, thought, you know, there's so many scenarios in which I would appreciate playing a console port on the arcade machine, because it's just like, it just feels right. So I wanted to hang out with Jimmy, shoot the shit. I have water at the moment because it's still kind of early, but just kind of hang out and play games that we think would be something fun to play in an arcade environment that was kind of a home port. So I'm going to fire up one of my favorites here just for the heck of it. We're going to play Outrun using the control stick. And using the, let's see which one I got here.
What's this? I say Bob is a very dedicated Outrun enthusiast. I had to track this down for you, Bob, so you can play this on your Master System that you actually don't have right now, right?
Yeah. Did you find it?
Yeah, I showed you a picture and I never got really a response. Awesome. And I was like, oh, maybe we're
the picture never went through.
Got over it. So, yeah, there you go.
The picture probably just never went through.
Probably, yeah. You have so many issues with Skype. What kind of what did you do to piss off the NSA?
All right, everybody in the chat's gonna have to let us know if the audio is right on all of this stuff. Sorry about that. But here is the MSU MD soundtrack of Outrun. So it's essentially the arcade soundtrack.
I'm sure it sounds glorious.
Yeah, Jimmy can't hear it because of the way we have OBS set up. Let me know what they say in the chat, my friend.
Listen vicariously through the chat. Real quick, just going through the chat. Raj says definitely Snow Bros from Mega Drive. That would be a good one. Great game. Super expensive too. Mechanical Koopa says the video just got all clear, so that's good.
I bet you it is the like the fuzz from the Mister startup screen is messing with the compression.
That's probably right.
Hey man, if there's ever something to mess with the compression, a startup screen, that's fine. Go for it. Compress that all you want.
Let's see. People saying things are looking good, but the audio is a little low from John Smith.
The game audio, I'm assuming, right?
I'm gonna assume the game audio.
Okay, I'm gonna show everybody a neat little trick here.
The unlucky Toad. Hello, sir.
That might be a little too loud, but I love that in-menu volume control thing. I just think that's the coolest thing.
Oh, that is very nice. So you're gonna drop a Mr. video sometime soon, right?
It's actually already done. Okay. I just didn't want to release it because I don't want to put pressure on Porkchop Express, and because I don't want to release a video and then have a whole bunch of people be like, well, where can we buy it? You know, why did you put a video out if it's not available for pre-order yet? So it's just kind of sitting, crashed already. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's basically exactly as you would expect, interfacing MiSTer into an arcade cabinet with, I believe Porkchop measured it as averaging a millisecond or less of lag on the controls and 0 lag to the CRT. So.
Gotta love that name too, Porkchop Express.
Yep.
I always crack up whenever I see you mention or hear you mention that in one of your videos.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments that are like, what the hell is a Porkchop Express? It's like,
those are the comments that is a sign that you need to block that person until they get educated. Educate yourself is what the kids always saying, right? It's not my job to educate you. Go watch Big Trouble in Little China. Clint asks if there are any conflicts mapping buttons with consoles and arcade cores on the same CAD.
Nope.
Nope. This MiSTer thing is too good to be true.
Yeah, it's getting
cheers,
there.
By the way.
And cheers, Jimmy. Yeah, and the controller mapping works the exact same as with regular MiSTer. So for whatever reason, you wanted to not use your arcade cab and just plug in some USB controllers, which is common actually in a lot of these competitions that I go see. People like to just use their own controllers. All the easiest way to do it is plug in your controller, reboot, and then don't touch the arcade controls, and it'll just auto detect player 1. Wow, I'm getting my butt kicked. I guess I can't really talk and play games as well as other people.
I was just gonna ask you. I was like, how good are you at Outrun? And then you just.
Well, also I've been playing with a steering wheel, you know, or with like the Saturn control pad. But yeah, it's so it's pretty cool, and it works the same with 2 players too, where you could just, like, if I were to just plug in a second controller right now and hit start, it would automatically be player 2. You wouldn't have to reboot or anything.
Okay.
The reboot thing was only for player 1, because then it would just detect the USB controller as first player. Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna make the checkpoint.
Mechanical Koopa is enjoying the tunes.
I'm glad. I love the soundtrack.
I don't know what this username is, but it's a symbol, and it's asking what kind of screen? iPad screen?
No. It's the same as the thumbnail for this. It's a mini arcade machine, just like my mini MVS, but it's gutted and restored with a MiSTerCade in it.
This is why Bob gets the big bucks.
CRT. All right. So let's see what happens when we. Let me turn on the global volume just to be safe. Let's see what happens when we reboot this thing midstream. It should maybe get weird compression, but it should just also work fine. So I want to play a couple of oldie but goodies, and then I'm going to turn to Jimmy for some suggestions. But I remember having a Tandy 1000 computer and playing this game a lot when I was a kid. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar, so this would be.
So this is
there you
BC's Quest for Tires, which I believe somebody told me was like a cheap ripoff of another game that was identical to it. But I never played that other game, so this is all I ever knew of something like this. Button 1 and button 2 controls your speed. But if I remember correctly, I haven't actually sat and played this game in a really long time, but if I remember correctly, whatever your speed's at the end of each level, it jacks it up. Oh yeah, like this one's already...
Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is one of these games that you just start playing right away because it's, it starts you right out, and it ramps up in difficulty very quickly as well.
So going to the chat real quick. Mechanical Coop asks if there's any way to run rotary joysticks for games like Ikari Warriors.
If there's a USB controller, it'll work. Wow, the game that I used to play was the Tandy 1000 version, not the ColecoVision version. I'm wondering if the controls are weird in this. This stuff gets a little trickier right away.
Just blame it on the booze, Bob. Oh, wait. It's okay. Milo says, good morning. Make sure to leave thumbs up for the stream. That would be a much appreciated gesture. Not just for the almighty algorithm, but for Bob's ego. It's always a good thing. Stroke that ego. Bob Stroke it. Let's see. Chris Fratt says up and talking about playing Hang On in Shenmue HD. That was such an awesome thing in that game.
I never understood this part either, by the way. I don't know if you just saw the cave lady hit me over the head.
I just saw that lady, yeah.
Player 1, game over. I didn't realize it was a 2-player game, but... Alright, I guess one more shot, and then we will switch to a less boring game than this. Although, I'm out of curiosity, I want to just do the first level on the slowest speed, and see if it still jacks it up to speed 40, or if it'll just incrementally go up a little bit. I know it's boring, but it'll only be a moment. Actually, give me time now.
That's okay. Bob, you make up for the boring caveman wheel game. It's fascinating, though. It's really interesting. Especially, I don't know much about the ColecoVision, so... I don't think I've actually ever played one, a real ColecoVision either.
It's not much worth playing on it, and I know Coleco fans are probably getting ready to, throw a bag over my head and beat me to death with a ColecoVision power supply, but it's the unfortunate truth. There's this game, the Smurfs is somewhat decent, and then there's just a couple of other ports of games that are available on a million other consoles. But hey, if you're a ColecoVision fan, let me know what I'm missing here.
Well, Bob, I don't need to take your word for it. I'll just get that Coleco Chameleon. I'm still waiting for that thing.
It did jack right up to 40.
Okay.
Wow.
Death Prevails asks how much this MiSTerCade cost to build, in total.
Well, I forgot how much I paid for the actual arcade machine itself, and there is no price, I think, yet for the MiSTerCade, but I imagine it would be about the same, as a full Mr. setup. So it's basically an arcade machine plus whatever it costs to restore the arcade machine plus this. But if you already have an arcade machine in really good working order, then you don't really need to do anything other than plug this sucker in. The video that I did really concentrated on what people might run into if they were trying to make it into this. But it's basically just make sure your arcade machine's in good working order before you start. It's a little more to it than that. Still watch the video, please.
This is kind of like a Game & Watch scenario, watching how you just got past that. Interesting.
Yeah, this is back in the day where if people said game was too short, then they just made it harder.
Right?
We'll give you too short. Try beating the first level now.
And you know what? Nobody complained. At least nobody our age at the time,
Oh, that bird is supposed to carry you over the next thing. I think I may have played this on stream at one point or another a long time ago.
So I guess that symbol is Faye. Faye coming in with the dad jokes. It's really hard. Is that blockable? Is that a blockable offense, Bob?
Got it. Woohoo!
All right, very good.
No. Although it's really funny when Pushing Up Roses does dad jokes, because it's just she knows how terrible they are, and it just goes hard into them anyway. So it's like, all right, that's funny. You're owning it.
I think that's the charm. I think that's why people make dad jokes now. And I ain't even married, making dad jokes.
Ooh, I hit the wall. I think that's it, right? Yep. All right.
All right, what are you switching to now?
Last one of my choice, and then we start going into Jimmy's choices.
Go to the chat or go to me. I probably don't have many great choices.
Let me just make sure.
But I'll think of a few things, maybe with the genre.
All right, I'm setting it to V integer, so it's a 4x 1080p scale.
Oh, there you go, 1943. I enjoyed watching that stream with the Smoke Monster, the CPS2 stuff, the 1940X.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed the heck out of that too.
I will say, I was inspired to blow my cash on something that I really probably didn't need to blow my cash on, watching that stream. Because you guys played Pro Gear.
Yes.
It's like a cave shooter.
I love that game.
And so I went out and I finally, basically 10 years ago to this date, I had a pre-order for this Xbox 360 compilation Muchi Muchi Pork Pink Sweets. And I was living in Japan and I was just about to move and I pre-ordered it, I needed the money. And so I was like, I always regretted that. And I knew a store was selling it, and so I went out and bought it. Basically 10 years since canceling that pre-order. I was like, oh, cave shooters are so good. The game looks so fun, except for that hell mode or whatever that one you.
Yeah, the what was the hack name? Hell something?
It was like
Hellfire?
hell on earth or some weird thing, but that was a nice watch. But thank you for making me waste my money. I'm just trying to say that to you. Appreciate that.
So many people tell me that.
Yeah. God damn it, Rob.
This is actually the one thing I think Mr. could use globally across all his cores, is some kind of auto fire. I think would be really awesome.
Oh, was that you mentioned on that stream that you had to go out and buy like the turbo controller just for this game?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then when I hooked that up to my other Mister, just the little standalone one, and played the NES core, and I was like, wow, this really holds up. I do like that controller. You know, people said it was really crappy and they didn't like it, but I did. I liked it a lot. And then I thought, well, let me play the actual 1943 arcade game with this weird NES controller. And I did, and I liked that too.
Say Faye says that he prefers D-pads any day of the week. I'm a pleb. Well, I'm a pleb too. I grew up with the D-pads. Even for like fighting games, a good D-pad, I can do way better than a stick, but
all depends
it's
on
not
the
gonna
type
be
of game.
It's not gonna be pretty either way though.
I would never in a million years want to play like Sonic with an arcade stick. This game feels so much better.
I have a few sticks, but I just collect them because I think they're cool. Very shallow, but it's my games, and I don't know, cry if I want to because I suck at them. Let's see. Brooks is in here, and this says the soundtrack is so Mega Man. Well, I'm glad you guys are listening to that beautiful soundtrack. Newview is in here saying he's not very knowledgeable when it comes to Mr. What do you need to buy exactly to make it work with MiSTerCade?
So everything is linked in the description. Let me double check. I actually put it in the description. Yeah, RetroRGB.com/Mr. But you need a DE10 Nano. You need a RAM module. And that's it. If you just want to play on an HDMI device, if you want to play on any kind of CRT, that's when you would need the I/O board or a converter. If you're going to component video, you could just buy an HDMI to component converter and change the settings when you connect to a CRT. So it's actually not that much to get started. And if you're not sure if it's something you want to really invest in, get a more affordable RAM card or a RAM module and just decide if you ever need to upgrade. That is the only thing that I would kind of suggest picking a bigger one though, just because while yes, you might have to upgrade that eventually, like you don't want to buy the smallest one now and then like a month later be like, you know, I love this thing, what am I going to do with this old one, you know? I gave mine away. I gave mine to Jeremy from Forgotten Freshness, the the game store.
The arcade. It's okay.
I'm not even. I'm 100% sober, and I'm already fumbling my words.
You are, you're crushing the Americans, aren't you? So, I think a couple of people did kind of answer that in chat too. Who is very knowledgeable about it. But apparently, some folks are saying that you can do turbo if you hold the button you want turbo and press the menu. So
wow. Let me try that. One second.
Try that out.
All right.
Let's see.
All right. So I just pressed that.
Is it working out?
I don't know. I'll find out. Also, let me change the palette too. Ooh, real Sony CXA. That's interesting. I could mess with these palettes forever, so I'm gonna go with real. And input options, swap, multi-tap, serial mode. Yeah, no, there's no. All right, I tried exactly what you just said, but there doesn't seem to be any setting for it. So let me.
Let's see. So.
Nope.
Press and hold the button, then press and release menu.
Oh.
It's important. Is that working?
In the upper left-hand corner. Here it is. Auto fire 32 milliseconds. That is pretty cool. Oh, look at that. I should have known the Mr. Crew.
So yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat that brought it up.
There are so much about this.
Now you're gonna have to redo that entire video, Bob. Like, unfortunately, it doesn't have auto fire.
I didn't mention auto fire, luckily enough. I was just thinking that too. I was like, did I freaking just tell everybody there's no auto fire? But no, I didn't even bring that up.
Oh man, it's too bad. If you did, it could have had you like just cutting to yourself and flogging yourself. I'm so sorry.
But I'm absolutely gonna bug my friend Jamie Risha and just ask for that to be in the in the GUI, because the way most people will have their arcade machine set up, like I have a 2-button combo for menu. So that could get pretty confusing. Mine's always player 1 start and coin, or start and select on controllers. And I think a lot of people have their controllers set up that way as well.
Catch up on the chat for you real quick while you're...
I'm actually doing alright in this game. Who's the other gentleman? That is Jimmy Hapa right there. The man and the legend. You might not recognize him because he's never on video.
I'm no gentleman. I've only been on video on your channel, and that's why you're not at the silver button yet. Sorry.
Well, Jimmy, it is much appreciated.
Yeah. No, I always appreciate Bob's like the only one that tries to help me out here on YouTube. Bob's a good guy. Bob is best for business. Don't forget that.
Well, Jimmy, you if your channel sucked, I would never talk about it, so don't give me any credit.
Well, it did suck, and then Mr. Franklin came your way and told you otherwise. And some of his friends, Mr. Jackson, soon to be Harriet Tubman. Yeah, just kind of looking at the chat here too. People were talking about where to buy Mr. Seems like everybody's got that covered. John D is asking, is Smoke gonna join?
I haven't talked to Smoke, but he is always welcome.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man. Best eyes in the biz.
It's the question as to where to get Mr. stuff. I would honestly say 2 things to that. First, take the time to research who you're buying from, because there's a lot of good sellers. And then I was just notified that a known clone company is starting to sell Mr. IO boards. And while of course it's open source and there's no such thing as cloning the Mr. IO board, you don't want to give money to cloners. That's just gross. Yeah. But it's also regional, right? I believe there's somebody named Antonio Valena. I think he's in Spain. I'm very sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but I've heard nothing but good things about his stuff. Porkchop, Mr. Add-ons, is in the U.S. He does ship worldwide, and always a fan of his stuff. And there's also somebody in China making an awesome little Mr. one. If you have no intention on using it VGA or component, if you only want RGB or S-Video, this is going to be the case to get. So it's but that's China only at the moment, but we're trying to get it in the US. So, but yeah, generally speaking, MrAddons.com is where I send people, just because Pork's got everybody covered.
Is there a promo code Bob that goes with that, or is this just out of the goodness of your heart?
No, I didn't. Pork said he was gonna work on something like that, and then I guess he never had time to. But I never ever pressure a store to put affiliate codes in. If they, sometimes I'll just ask, if they have it, and if they say no, I never bust their chops. But like, the only time I ever got mad is there was a couple of times where people asked me to work on projects with them, and it offered to pay me, and I said no, that's not how I work. I can't. I don't really do that. But just set up an affiliate code, and that way, the harder I work for you, the more affiliate I'll get. And they never did. But one of them did, and then decided to turn it off, and I was like, oh, it's the last time I worked with you.
They just wanted a one-night stand with you, Bob.
I guess.
Sorry.
All right, Jimmy. Where are we going now?
What console would you like to go with, sir?
Any freaking one you want. And remember, we also have access to the CD consoles as well.
Oh, that's great. Oh, Jesus. Oh, there's so much good stuff.
And I have everything.
You know what? Somebody mentioned earlier in the chat Snow Bros for Genesis Mega Drive. That would be good. That's something you can also chit-chat too, because it's not super complicated. I'm just kind of catching up with the chat here too. The Truth. Maybe he's a friend with old Jesse Ventura. Jesse the Truth Ventura is what I call him. He says, "Give us an update video on the MVS Mini." I don't know if that's something that you're into doing, but the demand is there.
MVS Mini?
Yeah, I don't. That's what it said.
I don't know. My Mini MVS is gone. If that's what you mean, I traded it, but I'm not really sure what the update would be. My apologies.
Yeah. Milo says that the gentleman you're talking about is from Portugal, he believes, and he's a great seller.
So. I am very sorry. I didn't mean to mess that up. There was no intentional anything in that. All right, let me just.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Chris Fratz says, "Never seen any of my videos. It's probably best for your health." How about King's Quest on the Master System? Just came up too from Chris Fratz. $2 super chat donation too.
Thank you, Chris. That's really nice. Chris actually just posted an awesome article about the new widescreen patch for emulation on Genesis games. So anybody's into that stuff, definitely give it a try. I've never played this game at all before, so I'm learning it as I go. So expect a lot of embarrassing moves this first run, and then I promise I won't stink as bad. But
just notice how so damn close to this camera. I gotta get within bob distance.
Also, am I the only person who can't hear the words Master System without hearing it in Stika's voice anymore?
What do you mean? Yeah. Yes.
Love Stika.
On the Master System. It's the greatest console ever made.
Okay, so you turn them into snowballs and knock them into each other.
Yeah, and then you slam them. Yeah. Have you ever gotten a chance to play this game before?
Never.
I used to rent this in the Blockbuster on the NES back in the day. But this game, I think here in Japan, if you want it completed box, it'll probably run you about 900.
Oh my god, are you serious?
1,000 plus now. Yeah, it's really hard to get. I think this is a Tengen game. Tengen, I don't know how you pronounce it, but let's see. Right, Steven Salsi. Oh, so did you enjoyed the video on Valkyrie no Densetsu? Well, thank you for watching one of my videos. Just be honest, you watched it for Corey. He's the more attractive of the baldies here. Flynn's asks for Blazing Lasers. That's a good one. On the PC Engine, or I guess Turbo Graphics.
And you can't get hit by your own snowballs, right?
I think you don't want to get hit by your snowballs, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see over here. Dr. Droop, who's been asking about Mr. Stuff, are there any recommended add-ons or upgrades aside from the RAM? And he'll likely be using HDMI to an iPad screen and using USB controllers. And from what he's read, just the RAM and Mr. should be good to go. I don't know if you have anything you want to add into that, but maybe check out the video.
Makes sense. I'm gonna give this one more try. This is very cool, but this is one of these like puzzle arcade games I would want to get sucked into, just so I could like unfocus and be able to like look at the whole. You know what I mean? Like look at the whole screen at once, take it all in.
So for your criteria too, to make it a little bit clear, so games that are console games that would be a perfect fit for arcade, right?
Correct. Yes.
So basically things that you can kind of like get in, get out.
Yeah, you could get in quickly, and that would make a lot of sense with an arcade stick.
Okay. I know you're not like the biggest fan of like beat 'em ups and that kind of game, but
Streets of Rage was never released on arcade, but holy crap, it was never released in arcades, right?
As far as I know, no. I know Golden Axe was an arcade game, and so was Alien Syndrome.
Ooh. All right, let's switch to another.
If you want to play a sweet beat 'em up for the NES, you could do Mighty Final Fight.
Whichever you call it, Jimmy, I'll do whatever you'd like.
Oh, dang.
Mr. Pete, 1985. Bob, I know they are beautiful creatures, but you have to leave the horses alone. This is getting out of hand. If you only knew the real story behind that. but that's for a different time. And it actually, believe it or
Bob's
not,
story time.
doesn't involve me. But that did come from a real story.
I'll have to hear this.
I'll tell you off stream. No offense. All right, which one was it again? Mighty
Final Fight, and then maybe after that, Turbo Graphics Blazing Lasers, which I just downloaded that game on my PS3. That was it was US only technically, but it's just a retooled port of is it Gunhead, which is it's a compile shooter, so it's gonna be good. But yeah, Mighty Final Fight is a good beat 'em up for the old Nintendo.
Chris was talking about King's Quest.
I can't think of. Oh yeah,
that's a cool game, but I think that's one I would want to do with a keyboard and a mouse. To be honest, I mean, I know you're talking about the NES version, but I would like to play that on like, a 286 core or something.
I think was it the Master System one, but yeah, that'd probably be good for another theme for the stream. And I can't.
There was one for the Master System.
When I hear Blazing Lasers now, though. I don't know if you know about that whole story. Summer Carnival 92 Neko would be good too. And also, Chris Pratt says he just sent that impression to Stika. Laugh out loud. Well, I can do a better Stika if I really
and for the record, for anybody listening, like, we love Stika, and Stika's on stream with us when we tease each other. So this is not like talking behind somebody's back. And in fact, there was one time where I actually said on one of Jimmy's streams, like, oh man, I wish Stika was here. It feels weird, like, talking without him here to tease us back.
And he showed up.
And he showed up on the stream. It really happened.
We got him in there, and he was like, yes, and I heard your impression of me.
Isn't he like 6'2" or something like that?
He's like 6'2", and he was gonna murder me at Portland probably.
Because the crazy guy Fonzie called him a little man, and I'm like, I don't think that's probably the right way to describe Stika.
Yeah, when you see a guy just from his man tits up, you never know how tall he is. So
true.
You gotta be careful who you shit talk.
I've had quite a few people say I look much less fat in person as well.
Well, somebody told me that, and I was like, yeah, Bob ain't that fat. He's just he's just a straight bear.
And just for the record, Jimmy's in Japan. I'm in New York. There's definitely a Skype delay, so we're gonna end up talking over each other. Yeah, and every time I say that, people groan like, we know, Bob. We've been on Skype before. But every time I don't say that, there's at least 3 or 4 comments afterwards, like, you arrogant ass, why don't you stop talking over your friend and let him finish? And it's like, maybe because we couldn't hear each other.
Yeah, no, I listened to, I didn't know how bad the delay was, and I listened back to something, and I was like, oh, Jesus, it sounds like I'm just cutting you off, and I think it was you and Yahel were having a talk, and...
Oh, that one was brutal, because you were in Japan, he was in Portland, or something like that, and I was in New York. Yeah, so each of us had like almost a second delay between us, so we were all just talking over each other.
Oh yeah, and I just felt like, I was like, oh man, I'm just ruining every conversation, just jumping in too late.
No, absolutely not at all. Absolutely not.
Yeah, good guys. That's right, boss. One of those kind of characters in the movies, like, oh god.
I had no idea this was a game, and I'm so impressed that this is on the NES.
It's great. It plays great,
It's smooth.
Button beat 'em up is kind of hard to make it like that fun, but there's like a good balance of just like in the good flow of the level.
When was this
Of course,
released?
It's based on Final Fight. I'll grab my copy real quick, and I'll tell you.
I mean, look how fast the punches are going through. This is no Double Dragon here. This is an advanced game. We should play like 1 minute of Double Dragon just in contrast. I want to start doing a lot more of that, because when Ronnie and I 93. Did it on stream, 93, that makes a lot of sense.
Here's the artwork. I don't know if you can take a look, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, cute.
Ronnie and I did that on the Dreamcast stream we did with the taxi game, and it just, when we did it live, I was like, man, are we boring everybody? Is this totally out of place? And when I watched that part again, I was like, wow, this is actually perfect. You could really see the contrast between them.
Yeah, that taxi game was neat too, because it just, at first I was like, oh, this game looks badass, and then you realize it's just the same building over and over again.
Yeah, that had a lot of potential, though, man. That's such a good movie.
Yeah. I've never seen the Taxi movies, so it was funny listening to you talk about that, because I think of that Queen Latifah movie.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know it's a Luc Besson written or whatever produced series, and I was like, I need to watch those, because those were pretty popular in Japan. I'd always see the DVDs way back in the day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Says, too bad you can't play with a friend. That's true, but I guess if you were to parsec on emulation, maybe another day.
We could do that on software emulation, but not with the Mister. Bow down before me. No.
Faye's asking for a Mark Duddleson impression.
Oh man, maybe we should wait till later. We should wait till some beers kick in.
Let's get him in. God bless Mark. Let's try. Let me catch up to you on some of these things here. I guess Mr. Pete was like, for real? I thought Voltar was just making up stories. I guess it's about the horse thing.
Yeah, no, I told Voltar a true story once.
Oh boy.
Because he made a joke about a horse, and I was like, it's so funny you say that, because here's something that I know happened. And he was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'll try to find like the news clipping. And it had nothing to do with me at all. I didn't have any relation to anything that happened. It was just a story that I remember that was in the paper that involved a horse. And I was like, I told him the story. And then from that moment on, that's when he took that to the next level, which was hilarious.
That's what I'm here for, Bob. Yubi says, by the way, Bob, I'm friends. I don't understand your love for the Taxi movies.
They're amazing. They're hilarious.
We'll switch nationalities so you can switch the Taxi movies. You can get the Queen Latifah, Jimmy Fallon one.
Oh, that was such a bad
Bob
movie.
can eat cheese, sip on wine.
I do like cheese and wine, so that's fine.
Cheese, wine. I think you'd look good with a beret. You know? I think you have good genes, though. You won't have to hide your lack of hair like I am with a little hat. So.
Well, I obviously got the fat gene, Jimmy, and I can't hide that with a hat. So.
I barely wear hats because I got that fat gene too. Let's see. Yo and R says old Bissons are great. Subway Nikita Leon.
Yeah.
The Professional. I also love Fifth Element, and I guess John D is in that too. I didn't watch it until a few years ago because I always thought it was kind of weird looking when I was a kid. And I remember that PS1 game had awful reviews, so I got way far away from Fifth Element, and I regret it because that movie is awesome.
I haven't watched it in a long time, and I never liked it as much as everybody else did.
Okay, maybe you change your mind.
My favorite of all those. Yeah, I'll try it again. I always like to give stuff another chance, but my favorite of all the Luc Besson movies, Taxi 2 and The Transporter.
Oh, I always forget about The Transporter.
That movie perfected his style of like the pace of the music matches the pace of the movie. It's really cool.
Made like Jason Statham like an instant star too. John D. Luck's Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. That is one of my favorite movies of the time.
Good movie, but not the movie we're referring to.
Yeah. Love that. Know someone, Iris? You know anyone named Iris? That might meet a girl named Iris. Not too many of them these days. Not too many girls, and not too many girls named Iris. Stadium Arts is in here saying that Fifth Element is his favorite movie of all time. And yeah, the PS1 game was horrible. I gotta hide that with the treadmills with Ferret Bomb saying.
Ooh, I think, oh no, I guess I thought I was gonna get a game over, but...
You're playing this guy. Yeah, Bob, I miss, the first time I met Bob, I was struck too, not about your girth, but like your height. I was like, I thought Bob would be a little bit taller.
Oh, you thought I would be taller than I am?
Yeah, for some reason. And then I was like, oh, there's Bob over there. And then we met and ate at the Heart Attack Grill.
That's right. I wonder if I shrunk after I messed my back up, because a lot of people told me that absolutely happens when you rupture a disc. So I wonder if I'm shorter now than I was. I went into a doctor's office for something at one point, and they were like, all right, jump up, we'll get your height and weight. And they're like, yeah, you're 5'9". I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like, yeah, shows it right here. I'm like, listen, I just was at a doctor like 2 months ago. There's no way I shrunk 2 inches. And they're like, well, you know, it is what it is. And then like a year went by, I was back at a different doctor for something else, and they're like, yep, 5'11". So I don't know.
What's weird? I was like, 5'11" for the longest time, but now I think my height has gone down around 2 inches as well. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess you can be happy that you're not as short as Yahoo. I haven't heard from him for a long time, but I think he's planning an attack. CD ISIS. And it might be on your channel. Be careful once that gets squared away.
It's funny you mentioned that. That may or may not have begun. You should. The trailer should potentially be out this week. No promises, but that might be next week.
This is Bob's magnum opus, everybody.
It kind of is.
This is where Bob checks out. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Like I might just quit after just the trailer. Just the trailer alone might be the coolest thing I've ever done.
You don't quit while you're ahead, Bob.
It's funny too because the only thing I'll give away is that I thought it was pretty much done, and then Ronnie contributed, and then Ronnie had an idea, which sparked another idea, and I was like, I need another day. And so yeah, that's it's in a good place right now.
Let's see. You look like a big guy, Bob, and you have a big man voice from Faye. Very nice. That's what you don't want to hear the opposite.
True.
Yeah. You look like a weenie, and you got like a wimpy voice. Like, oh, Jesus.
You look like somebody that would call the cops on me for wearing a hoodie. No!
And then people were talking about height. Apparently, according to Blarg too, you lose a bit of height during the day, and you shrink as you get older, and your spine and disc compress. And also when you're doing a lot of leg drops like Bob, just like Hulk Hogan. That's what Bob does in his spare time. He's actually not really working on these videos. That's all hired out, third parties.
I just practice leg drops all day long. That's all I do.
Yep. Oh look, Genovi's in the chat.
Oh wow, really?
2 of my favorite people in one action-packed stream.
What's up, Genovi?
Stika's not here. How you doing, Genovi? Genovi just put out this video with him and Larry Bundy on some Gizmodo.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch that yet.
I have it on my saved, so.
I started watching it and I was like half asleep, and I'm like, that doesn't do Genovi justice. I don't want to.
No, yeah, that's the thing too. I can't just have it in the background. I have to like full attention. I just got the movie Office Space in the mail. I bought an American DVD here in Japan because they don't really have it here. But I didn't even have enough time to watch that. I watched about like half of it, and I was like, damn it, I love this movie.
Hey, are you seeing this? I wasn't able to get the heart. That's funny.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't think I'm gonna be. I think I'll be game overing fairly soon at the moment. So don't worry, we'll change it up.
I gotta talk to Genovi sometime soon. Hope you're doing fine, man. Bob is likable. That's debatable.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on who introduces you to me.
Yeah. I think Bob's a very, very, very huggable. I think is what you meant to say.
Well, I am very bear-like.
What's that?
I am very bear-like. Harry, cuddly, would completely and totally swim upstream to get a salmon. Perfectly plausible that I would get my paw cut into a honey pot.
God, don't bother. You could be the leader of China. You're so bear-like. You know? Let's see.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'm getting past the ninja.
Vincent Anthony asks what controller you're using. You're using an arcade stick, but
this is an arcade machine, yeah. So it's the arcade controller.
How is this game with the arcade stick, by the way?
It feels like I'm playing something in the arcade back in the day.
Oh, very nice.
Honestly, this has been really cool. I do, let's pick a non-NES game to play next, just to change things up.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to play 1 minute of Double Dragon, just so people could see the contrast between this very amazing NES game and, what we all knew as a beat-em-up. Well,
Technos,
any old men
Japan,
knew back in the day.
Yeah. Hey, you might get banned from YouTube. That's violence against women.
Oh man, I forgot about that in the beginning.
Let's see. Office Space, it's incredible, says Tyler. Oh, it's so good. And it's a movie, it's very cliche to say this, but it's a movie that you appreciate when you get older and you worked in environments like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just kind of funny too. I was like, oh yeah, he hates his job and everything. And then then I worked in a place that was like a big call center, NCR, and they had the Goofy banners and everything. I was like, I can't believe it.
Why am I not starting? Oh, there we go. I had to hit select. Okay.
Let's see. Sadie says, Genobi shared this awesome documentary about the making of virtual racing. It's so good. Yeah, no, Genovi makes great. I'm gonna do? Do you mind if I actually, I'm not a mod here, so.
Actually, just I was just about to ask. Just type anything in the chat, and I'll make you a mod so that you can post links.
Oh, sure.
That was actually Genobi didn't make the one that that person's referring to. He tweeted about it, and I have that in my save list as well.
Yeah. Well, Genobi did do like a kind of a going through all the different versions of it a little while back, but he's like the biggest fan of virtual racing I've ever met, so it makes sense he'd be tweeting out anything virtual racing. And then Genovi is a man of particularly fine taste, so if he's talking about something being good, it's probably very good.
Right. Did you put something in the chat?
I'm gonna get Genovi's channel just to kind of share in the chat.
So here's the contrast.
Look at it, my good friend Genobi.
You press one. There's kick and punch on this, and both buttons at the same time are jump, but you can't jump and attack at the same time. So it's kind of useless. Unless you're jumping over people. Yeah, that other game was far better than this one.
It's well, yeah, I guess it's 93 Capcom, and this is Technos Japan, whatever year this was.
88, I believe it said at the title screen.
88. Yeah, probably working with a lot less memory and everything too. So I guess if you want to be positive, try to find a positive. It's, they did the best with what they could. But I've always thought like Technos Japan games were was the word janky, as they say.
Yeah.
They're kind of got
an
a lot of
excellent way to describe them.
Yeah. Let's see.
Whoever thought a jump without an attack, even in 88, whoever thought that would be a good thing to program into a game, but just not jump at all in.
Yeah, Genobi does seem like the horse guy. He deals with a lot of horses. Probably not the way Bob did. Gathering from what I've piecing together from the story. But it's probably minus 50% sex if it's a Voltage telling this story. He likes to add a little bit of hot sauce.
Alright, Jimmy, what's the next console?
People were asking for blazing lasers for Turbo.
Turbo Graphics?
Yep.
Alright.
That's actually, I was saying I downloaded it on the Japanese PSN store, PS3, and I played it for the first time, and I think it's actually one of the easiest compile shooters I've ever played. It was super fun, though. Also, somebody, Xi Jinping joke. Yeah, that's right. Glad people got the reference. These two lead by example. I like how they bring positivity to the retro video game community and not an elitist, discriminating approach. Thank you. If you're talking about us,
yeah,
let me tell you about what we really feel. Now,
yeah, but the best way to play a game is playing the game. There is no elitist stuff.
Freight master. You're a dirty peasant.
No, boy.
I don't see the point in being an elitist over something. Like
No.
Bob is very serious about gaming. I am as well, even though I'm not the kind of pillar of the community like Bob, and everyone here in the chat I'm sure is very serious too. But it's not worth getting that serious about. You know what I mean? There's a certain kind of category of seriousness. You take this. Also, is your screen stretched?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out now, actually.
Oh, Stika's here. I wonder how he was summoned. Bob, how did you summon Stika to this wizard?
This is weird. I don't know if the whole core is showing up. It's supposed to, when you hit it, so when you go to normal, that's just supposed to be the 1080p 4.5x scale. And then you go to vertical integer, or maybe it's not working because of the size of the video or something, but that should be it.
Oh, it looks good now on the stream.
All right, so I will start us out again. Blazing Lasers. Did you put the thing in the chat yet, Jimmy? I want to make sure to...
Oh, I did. But, you know what I'll do now is I'll put it in again, Genovi's thing, and I'll also put in Stika's.
I think it's auto-blocked or something.
Okay, I'll just say hi.
Yeah, just say hi and I'll add the thing. Sorry, everybody. Just give us a moment. There we go.
Yeah, Stika, Bob said the nicest thing ever about you. He said that he can't not think about you without thinking with the Master System. He can't not think of you. Does that make sense? Am I stupid? I'm very stupid.
No, it makes sense. I see what the problem is. The title screen is a different resolution than the game. That happens all the time with retro. All right, that makes a lot of sense now.
But yeah, Stika does say, "Ooh, we up for some blazing lasers?"
I'm not hearing any music from this. Are you?
Let me listen to the chat. The screen real quick. No, I don't hear any music.
There
either.
we go.
Okay.
Please, everybody in the chat, let me know if it's too loud or something. Each of these cores have a default volume that are slightly different, which is why it's great to have those global controls like that. This is a cool game.
It's I think it's one of the most accessible compile shooters I've ever played. Stika says he hears music, so that's good. Stadium says, "Hope you're doing well." Well, thank you, sir.
I turned it on like a few seconds into the first level. I had to figure out how to get it up. Giggity.
Flimbit says, "Oh, yeah, you're good."
Alright, cool. This is a great game.
Jushri says, "Stream-ups on PCE TG16 have the best music. If they are, it has a wonderful sound chip, and the composers really did magic with it." Stika also says, "Funny you should say that. I'm actually working on a Master System video. Lol." So that's gonna be very good. I'm gonna retype. Am I? I guess I'm not modded yet. That's fine though.
Yeah, you should be.
Oh, okay. It's just, I guess I'd have to refit. Alex says everyone is here. Alex Limi.
You can test your modding capabilities by banning and then unbanning Stika.
Oh yeah, let me ban that Portuguese gentleman, that smooth Portuguese man. I'm gonna link his channel just in case somebody doesn't know who he is.
I actually just had the ability to purchase an early copy of a Master. Well, I don't think it's early, but a Master System homebrew game, but complete in box with a really nice cartridge and all that stuff. So, and it was funny too because the first thing I said is, "Well, I would definitely like one, but did you talk to Stika?" They're like, "Yeah, he already got one." So that's cool.
I'll tell you what, man. I God bless Stika, man. Stika is also like, if you have any Master System games you want to get, he gave me like this Portuguese eBay website. He's just like, let me know whatever you want to get. I never took advantage of it because I'm a gentleman. And I also don't kiss and tell, so even if I did take advantage of him, I wouldn't let you know. But yeah, Stika's a great guy. He's the guinea pig. Yeah, Japanese Master System is a good way to blow your ears out. Well, I got my Mark III up there. So, God bless it.
You know what's cool about this game too is that it's wider than the screen, so you could always go a little more left or a little more right when you do it.
There's a little bit of that little give.
We should play a Game Gear shooter too, just for the hell of it.
Sure. You can play a compile. There's a couple of compile shooters. GG Alesta.
Oh yeah, you know, I don't remember ever really playing that because I kept hearing about it, and then I played the Master System conversion when I was making the part of the website, and then I can't remember. I think I did try to play it, but it was a long time ago, like when I was first adding the stuff to the website.
That's another game. Like GG Alesta 2 is still. You don't have to sell your kidney to buy it. affordable, but GGLS to 1 is like ridiculous. Like, I think loose carts go for several $100s now. Crazy.
You know, I know it's useless essentially, but I do absolutely buy every game that I really like. It's important to me. I know it shouldn't be, but it is, so whatever. Except, except when it's situations like that. Like, you know, they went up in value, so it's $900 to pick up the cartridge. It's like, you know what? I think it'll be just fine on the MiSTer. But if it's reasonably priced, then yeah, absolutely. Or if it's like my favorite game of all time, I had a couple of opportunities to pick up like brand new sealed Zelda and Metroid for Super Nintendo, and years ago for like $100 each or 150 each or something.
Damn.
And now they're much more than that. But I should have done that.
No, the sealed game is nuts now. Yeah, I remember seeing it like Toys R Us. They had like a stack of, this is like in early 2000s, like a stack of Super Metroids for $5 each. And they had a bunch of Castlevania 4s. These were all like the Majesco ones, so they weren't as sought after by collectors, but still, what a crazy amount of, what a crazy low price to pay for such good games in the first place. And then, fuck, if you had kids, you'd take them through college if you bought that whole stack.
Right.
You know, God bless Mr. Miyamoto.
You know, the only like real regrets I have since starting RetroRGB, like the only thing that like haunts me really is I had an opportunity to buy I think up to 20 brand new RGB monitors, new old stock in box, and if I bought all of them they would have been like 150 each, and I would just have to have them palleted over. And I wanted it so bad, but I thought, well, I don't have any room for it, so I would have to have a storage area, and there'll be other deals like this. There's never another deal like this ever again, ever.
I know. I've had a lot of times where it's like, I can always get this again. And for me too, it's like a lot of times like there's like really great stuff that I just skipped on because of space.
I even did that at Brooklyn Video Games a bunch of times too, where I saw it and it was a fair price, whatever it might have been. I was like, well, I already dropped like $200 here today. I'll come back and get it. If it's still here, you know, if it's still here, it was meant to be. And then I come back and it's like, I really needed that. That would have been perfect in a video that I made, and it's gone forever. All right. Game over.
Catch up here on the chat too real quick.
Yeah.
So people were asking about GGLS to 3. Apparently some guy Shmup Junkie did a video on it that was released for the latest it was the Game Gear anniversary thing. And I guess it was like a collection. It was like the Sega 60th anniversary. So there's like a playable version of that on Switch and everything, but there's also like the Game Boy or Game Gear Micro, which if you want to strain your eyes and be forced to use glasses for the rest of your life, you can play on that. But yeah, it's kind of neat. Stika's still holding out for Twinkle Tail one day. Yeah, it just keeps going up and up and up, buddy. Better start selling those pictures that you had. Let's see. When you go stream links when it comes to arcade PCBs, says Ace 9921. And that said he wouldn't buy Gradius PCBs for the prices you see. Yeah, this is probably a very popular game. I'm sure it's expensive. I would love to get a PCB of like Mr. Goemon or like Legend of Valkyrie, but yeah, I'm not making Bob Bucks yet, so I'm gonna have to hold off.
Bob Bucks.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, Manjushri, yeah. PC Engine and Sega Saturn games are pretty expensive, but PC Engine and Saturn games haven't had a huge boom in a very long time. They were kind of early booms. Genovi asks, how long are we going to stream for? He's going to step out of the office for a bit.
I don't know. Until we get bored, I guess. And I would like to switch over to Jimmy's channel at one point, just for fun.
Yeah, maybe today, maybe next week, who knows?
I'm trying to get it to fit in the window properly too, everybody. Sorry about that.
Gotcha. Genovi recommended a good one for Game Gear too, as a Panzer Dragoon Mini. Which that game I regret not buying for $50 back in the day, because that's stupid expensive now. That's
actually almost perfect. On screen, it looks like. It'll take a minute to...
Yeah, it's looking good.
There is a lot going on here. Great stereo sound, though. A lot of Game Gear games were just mono.
Yeah, this was the masters at compile. Stika saying Power Strike 2 is so good. Never played it, but I would love to own it one day. But I heard that is specifically made for PAL. So it's actually one of the few games where it's like you have to play it. Was it 50 hertz in PAL regions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like even though it's a lot of those games were just like, oh, let's just do 60 hertz, and they actually specifically tinkered it to be compatible. Maybe that's why it's so good. Alex asked you if you take Bob Bucks.
Are there like there are no official Master System versions of this. It's only the GG to SMS ones. But are there any other good shooters on the Master System? Stika? Still with us, Stika?
Well, I can give you fake Stika's answers.
Oh, that's almost as good. Go for it, Jimmy.
Okay. Well, of course, there's Alista, and it's pretty good. A good arcade conversion would be Scramble Spirits. I can't do it right now.
It's okay. I love it anyway.
Now, there are some pretty good shooters, but I mean, Scramble Spirits is an arcade port, so that wouldn't be good for this one. But yeah, Stika would know. I think I have a total of like 2 shooters. There are not a lot of Japanese games, and I have import Master System games.
So what about arcade-style games for the Super Nintendo? Because I didn't really play too many of those. Maybe one of the Turtles games?
Arcade-style games for Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's Turtle in Time. There are a few beat-em-ups like on the Super Nintendo that you could play that aren't arcade ports. If you want to play a really weird one, you could play Gurume Sentai Barayaro, which...
Totally down.
I thought I was hot shit because I own the original game. It's one of the more expensive games, but it got re-released, and Stika has a review of that game on his channel too. So if you're interested, check that out. It's a very bizarre. It's Virgin Interactive published it, and it's all about food and posing, and it's just very strange.
All right. Well, let's definitely try out different consoles on this, just for the hell of it, really.
Yeah. As far as like other beat-em-ups, the Sailor Moon ones are alright. There's actually a Sailor Moon fighting game that is apparently people who play at the fighting game tournaments. I did a video on it a long time ago, and I don't know anything about fighting games, so I was like, oh, it's alright, but people are like, you're stupid. This game is like renowned and revered in the fighting game community. Well, I saw a video about the fighting game community once, and there are some interesting characters there. I don't know if I'd...
Yeah, it really depends. It depends on a lot of stuff, but one of the things I was like, I wanted to try to prepare for this stream, but I didn't have time, was somebody hacked Eternal Champions to actually make it a lot more playable. And special moves are easier, you can select your characters better, and I just didn't have time to patch the ROM and give it a try, but I really wanted to, because that was a game with so much potential that just kind of stunk.
Oh, real quick, just to kind of get it back on the chat, Stika came back with his answer. Power Strike 2, which that's like one of the holy grails for that system. R-Type, I forgot about R-Type. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Fantasy Zone 1 and 2.
So this is GG Leste, this is Game Gear Leste Power Strike 2, but that's not the same as just Master System Power Strike 2.
I believe it's a completely different game, yes.
We should definitely try that right after this then, just to see. Well, okay. Try it right now because I just killed myself, but yeah. And I don't even think we need to change course. I think I could access it right here. So.
Oh, sweet. Stika also mentions Sagaya, which I think is just Darius, but I might be wrong about that. And Cloudmaster, which, and Blarg is also backing him up on Cloudmaster. Is that just what is it? Like the Sayuki game, the monkey.
Could be. So I have a Leste here, but no Power Strike.
It would.
This would be the US version.
It would be PAL only.
PAL only. Oh, okay. Yeah. Europe.
Let's see.
Power Strike 2. Here you go. Thankfully, we have Smoke Monster, so all of these things are accessible to us.
Nice. God bless you wherever you are, Smoke. Axbox says Darius or Darius. It's actually, according to the Japanese, it's Darius.
Okay.
Eternal Champions on the Sega CD fixes a lot of issues with the Sega Genesis, according to Stika.
I'd certainly be willing to try that.
Yeah. That boss needs to sneeze. I must have missed it. Was that a big nose?
There we go. Alright. I think the video is going to line up. It's a tiny bit cut off, but it's fine for this. So yeah, this is... it's definitely, you know, the same style of game, but not the same game. Definitely not.
Very different. This is just like... graphically, it looks much like Alesta regular. Is this Power Strike 2 is what you're playing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It starts off very much like regular Alesta, but there's a lot of funky enemies. I like it. Yeah, this game here in Japan is like, to import it is like $500. Lucas Peruzovic asks or says, is it sad that I didn't bother with the MSX conversions on the Sega Master System on the MiSTer?
You know, if you like those games, it's really up to you. All right, so I don't want to bore everybody with the same style of the game over and over, but that was very cool to see the difference. I really appreciated that. So I guess Super Nintendo for now, and then we'll try Eternal Champion Sega CD. What game do you think, Jimmy?
Do you want to switch genres? You want to go with Cats Run? Go with a racing game again?
No thanks, Jimmy. Besides, I did actually play that game. It was neat, but it's a controller game, not an arcade stick game.
Not an arcade stick game. All right. Dang. You want to do a fighting game? Go with Sailor Moon R. It's a game that people play at fighting game conventions, apparently.
In the Japanese release or their US release too?
It's a Japanese only release.
SAI.
It might be under Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon. So, like, if you need to talk, I could just grab the game.
What are the first couple letters?
BI.
Oh, yes. Here he is. Sailor Moon, Another Story.
That's an RPG. You don't want to play that.
All right, so I'll try that one.
That would, if it's R, there's a beat 'em up R, and there is also like a fighting game R. You're playing the first beat 'em up probably. I'll be right back though. I gotta use the restroom.
Okay.
I guess you're playing the first beat 'em up. And I did a video on a bunch of these games a long time ago, and I remember like it was like one of the videos that actually had some views on it. And if I was smart, I would have followed it up, but I never did because I'm stupid. So I'll be right back.
Do your thing. I'll try the Sailor Moon fighting game.
Oh, and before you start, play as Sailor Jupiter. I guess you just chose Sailor.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll die immediately. So
you won't. It's a game made for little girls. Bob, are you tough enough?
Probably not.
Okay. Damn.
There's... Okay. Trying to figure out the buttons. Only 2 buttons seem to do anything. Kick and jump. I mean, this absolutely feels like a Sailor Moon arcade game. This is kind of funny. Anybody in the chat have any suggestions for what to play next? I'll try Eternal Champions for Sega CD, but I don't think I'll get very long on that. There's a couple of good shooters for Sega CD that certainly feel arcade-like, but any suggestions at all for anything that the Mister could handle. And the focus today is just console games that would feel right at home on an arcade machine or in an arcade environment like this. And once again, if you're just joining, I'm playing on my MiSTerCade arcade machine, which is why I wanted that criteria for games. I wish there was some kind of special move or special attack on this or something. Just check the pause in case there was any menu settings or anything, but... Run saver for the NES? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, this is pretty terrible, Jimmy.
What? How dare you, sir? I think that you just don't, you lack a pure heart.
Probably, but where are the special moves? Like, look at that hair. There'd be a really great, like, whip your hair around move. You and why is she nervously excited when you're not moving it?
She is like a 14-year-old girl. I think if you're kicking this much interdimensional being ass. You also played as Sailor Moon. That was your first mistake.
All right.
Maybe your first mistake was being born. How dare you insult this game? No, it's not fun if you're playing by yourself. Also, if you can do that the throw. That's basically one of the big things.
Let me switch characters real quick.
Let's see, S is the popular fighter in this series. People like the Sailor Moon fighting game because it's a very busted fighting game, no combo scaling, everything cancels and everything. Griff GFX, I have that S one, and I thought the R one was better, but like I said, I don't know anything about fighting games.
Hey, which character, Jimmy?
Jupiter, the brown hair girl. She's kind of
lower
like
left.
Tough, yeah, lower left. But if you thought the game was boring with Sailor Moon, you probably think it's even more boring with her. If you want the fast character, go with the girl on the top left.
We'll see.
Okay, let's take a look. I think R is the better fighting game or beat 'em up game on the system too. So, Tyler wants Killer Instinct for SNES. Okay, tell you what, that game made me get the feelings I never felt before at that age with the orchid. I'm feeling all tingly while I'm playing my video games. Stika wants to see magical girl transformations from us. Well, Patreon tier, right?
I definitely think that this would be better in person. So we should like keep a list of games we got to play the next time we all meet up with each other, and this is definitely got to be one of them.
Well, if you come over to JimmyCon, I have all the games right over here. You can bring them to Vegas.
I'm totally alright with that.
Xbox S. So he's running a MiSTerCade JAMA adapter with a Barcade arcade setup, or Bar Top arcade setup.
Yep. All right. Let's see what else we got here for games then. Any other suggestions for the Super Nintendo while we're here, or just jump right into Sega CD?
Somebody was asking for Sunset Riders. Smash TV was. Revenge of Double Dragon. I guess it depends what genre you wanna.
Anything really. Anything that feels like it should be at home on an arcade. I don't remember what Sunset Riders is.
It's a Konami, like I guess the Super Nintendo version is like a beat 'em up. Yeah, it's like a Western theme. Also, let's see. Zane says, first time I've seen Jimmy on a live stream. Glad to see him finally. Well, howdy. This is the only time you're gonna see me literally on a live stream is if it's on Bob's. I have a special agreement.
Was that a Cabernet, Jimmy?
This is I don't know what kind of wine it is. It's a red wine from the Sodio Winery. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some beautiful artwork on it. Vintage Rouge. It's generic red wine, so there you go. A shoot 'em up. Xbox asks, who is selling Mr. Cases right now?
Pork Chop has the metal ones that he's been selling that are really nice. I like those. There's a couple of 3D printed ones out there, and then there's that one, the really small one from the Chinese seller, which, respectfully, I love it, but it's a giant pain to get because you have to go through like one of those services. If you're used to that, cool, but if you're not used to that, when I bought mine, I couldn't figure out what the extra charge was, and I was like, fine, I guess I must have just calculated wrong, let me pay it, and I ended up, the Google Translate I was using didn't explain it right, and I ended up paying like $120 for next day shipping from China.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of Bob bucks down the drain.
Right?
Let's see. Milo asks, anything underrated from Japan game-wise would be great to see.
Agreed.
I got a lot of suggestions for that, but I don't know if they would be good like arcade-style games from what Bob's looking for. One game that you could play that it came out in the States, but it's a great arcade-style game that's just reminded me of it was Wild Guns. If you wanted to try that out.
What's that on?
That's on Super Nintendo.
Oh, cool.
Western themed shooting, kind of like I guess like a Terminator type game where you kind of like you're stuck on a plane but you can shoot all around. And I guess Punisher, one of the Punisher games was like that too.
Hey, look, I'm Genovi.
Giddy up, partner. And let me tell you about the 32X. While I was gonna say queer my steers, steer my steers. Good lord. Yeah, there's a lot of cool Japanese games that I would recommend. If you just want like straight up action games or like, I know Bob's not
anything that if you walked into the stream and I said we're playing arcade games, you'd go, yeah, it makes sense. This is a pretty neat game. I'm glad I finally got a chance to play it. I don't know why I never played it before. I think the case was always like a turnoff. I always felt it was going to be a different type of game. What was the other one that you had suggested?
Wild Guns.
Wild Guns.
Mark Kurtz is saying it's awesome. Manjushri's recommending Turrican, or asking about it. R-Type 3 on SNES from Alex.
Wasn't Turrican an arcade game at one point though?
That sounds about right, but I'm not 100% sure. Thunder Spirit was also recommended by Vincent Anthony. That would be Thunder Spirit AC, probably arcade.
Neil wants to know, is there work being done on a GameCube core? I don't think so at all, because Dolphin is really good. And if you have a fast enough computer, it's low latency, it's really accurate, and you can do stuff like render in higher resolutions. But good question.
Turrican was Amiga, according to Alex.
Oh, pretty neat. I have played this game before. Or maybe you played it on one of your streams.
I did not, because I have the Switch version, but I don't have a Switch anymore. I kept that game because it's cool. This game is also super expensive here. I think it's super expensive everywhere, but it's like $900 complete a box in Japan.
I'm also trying to figure out the button controls for all of this, so please excuse me, everybody.
Well, that's half the fun, though, right? It's just like discovering it, fucking up vicariously through Bob. Manjushri says, if there was a Saturn core on Mister, I'd have 2 already.
They're talking about working
like
on
Saturn.
it. They're definitely working on FPGA recreations. I don't know if the D10 is going to be fast enough or if it's going to need another one, but it's something they're looking into. I just feel like this game would be so much better if it was like a light gun game with like another player controlling it or something. You know, like one player uses the controller and the other player shoots.
I 100% agree. You ever play the game Lucky and Wild?
No. Yes, the arcade game.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
Right.
That was one of the first games I remember you could actually have like a weird like co-op drive and shoot and then just shoot.
Play some Eternal Champions Sega CD just for the hell of it.
Go for it. Oh, Is Beast back in here? There you go.
I believe I saw him in. Yep.
Nice.
Champions. Hopefully, this lines up still. Yeah, I believe so.
Beast was saying that it's a $300 cart only in the States. Whew.
Wow.
And also Stika likes the remake of Wild Guns.
What's the remake?
Would be better on Master System. Oh, it's just like better graphics, I guess. And it's called Reloaded, I think is the subtitle they gave it. Wild Guns Reloaded. It's good.
Oh, of course there's an FMV opening.
It's on Switch and PS4.
That's really funny. What the heck?
Oh. Oh boy.
That is pretty funny.
Is that just the developer name? That was the whole intro just for the developer?
Just the developer, yep.
Wow.
So, controller setup, just to make sure I have the 6-button controller selected. Made that mistake. Yeah, alright, so it is.
You know what? I just bought a Mega Drive collection, like a catalog or whatever, like ultimate catalog with all the games and even like the American only games. So I might grab that just if you're gonna go into Mega CD. But I would say a game that I would like to see as a shooting game is Body Arm for a Mega CD. I've never played it, but I really would like it.
All right, I will put that up next.
Well, thank you, sir.
Did I just lose?
Did you just
lose signal? I did just lose signal. Uh-oh.
Okay, you're still on the stream.
Yeah.
But I guess from the Mister blue screen of death. That takes me back.
There we go. That's all it was. All right, that's easy.
All right.
Well,
crisis averted.
I'm trying like all the Street Fighter style moves just to see if like. I remember the special moves in this were really weird too.
Well, I love how big the sprites are. I guess it's not that great for like a fighting game, but the bigger they are, they just look cool. Brian Reno says Body Arm is underrated, and also Flinsbit, I do not have a Mister yet, but I am very tempted. Every time I talk to Smoke, it's like I get subliminal messages that I need to get Mister. How are you doing, Mr. Hapa?
Well, I'm obviously not doing too well in this game, but I'll give it another few tries.
Let's see. Ace asks if Mr. could realistically handle the hardware from a Sega Model 1 PCB.
I don't know, but I wish it could.
Nelson Painkiller's loving the music.
It is great music.
Ricardo Fuentes Valenzuela says, "Hi guys, saludos from Chile."
Hey.
Hello.
A friend of mine moved down there. Actually, he was from there and then lived in the U.S. for a while and then moved back. He's got a YouTube channel that does mobile video games. They've had him on, Francisco. All right. Well, obviously, I'm not getting anywhere in this game. It looks great. It looks cool. It actually looks great on stream as well. But yeah, I'm gonna play the remake of that whenever we're ready.
Yeah. Stico is saying that it has better hit detection and is more responsive with better graphics and music and a few new moves and characters. So Stika is an expert in this. Let's see. Xbox asked if you've checked out the new JTC PS2 games.
I don't know.
They're released this weekend.
No.
Until Street Fighter Alpha is one of them, I guess.
Oh, the Hotegos.
The Hotego?
Yeah. Yes, they're awesome, but And you know what? We could end with one of those at some point, but I just feel like everybody's gonna expect one of those games. You know what I mean? Like an arcade game on an arcade machine is awesome, but it's just kind of the way. What game did you suggest, Jimmy? Japan or U.S.?
Japan, Body Arm.
Ooh, I might not have any Japanese or U.S. games in here.
Oh, wow. Do we send the mob to Smoke Monster's door?
No, it would be me for not copying all the games over.
Ah.
All right, what else you got then?
For the CD?
Anything really, but we're at the Sega CD now if you'd like one.
Oh, jeez. All this pressure. You know, it's a very arcade-ish kind of game. Even though it's like an action platformer.
Okay.
Wolf Child. It just seems like one of those games they would have played on like Nick Arcade back in the day.
It's worth a moment of time, and then we'll
good music.
Start thinking up whatever we got for coming up after this. Lord of Thunder. That is a great one. That is a great one.
That is a good. I didn't even know they had a Sega CD release until I saw your thing.
Yeah, with Beast. We should play the PC Engine CD version though, because I have a feeling that one's the best version.
I would hope so. Isn't it great artwork too? Masamu Nishiro. Winds of Thunder, I think that's what it's called, right? Thunder in Paradise. That's gonna be when Bob retires from this channel.
Yeah, that'll be my swan song. Me and the Hulk go out together.
Yep, that's why I was like, hey, you're getting shorter because of all the leg drops too. Bond over that. Call up the Smoke Monster BBS for the hottest wares. That's right.
EO Flying Squadron? Yeah, that's a we did try that. You guys one on the played that stream, yeah.
Yeah. KO Yugekitai. That's a game that is expensive now too. Yeah. Robo Alesta. I guess that would be Den Alesta here in Japan. That's a good one. Sylpheed.
This reminds me of the Terminator game Beast had me play.
Yeah, like it's not like a great game or anything, but it's very arcade-y, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could see this game ripping people off in arcades. Blarg saying it's not that great. It's another Amiga trashy game. You take the piss out of this wolf child.
Ooh. Well.
Let me grab my book and actually look at some of my Sega CD games too.
Yeah.
Be right back.
The sound for punch is really annoying. Watch this. You think for something with CD quality music, they could have put a little bit more effort into the punch sound? Yeah, I don't think I'm digging this game. No. Yeah, I think I don't like this game. Sorry, Jimmy.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a good game. It's arcadey.
Yeah, you're right. So, suggestion?
Do you want to play a shooter?
Anything.
I think you played Soul Feast already. You know, Starblade is an arcade game, but the port for Sega CD is a little unique.
Starblade?
Yeah, you ever play Starblade from Namco?
No, I don't think I have.
It's an arcade classic, but it's like a on-rails shooter.
Okay.
And it's like first person. I think the Sega CD version, if I'm not mistaken, was developed by Technosoft. And yeah, it's kind of neat. It's different looking. The arcade game looks fantastic, and they have this, what would you call it? Not lenticular kind of like screen, but it is technically an arcade port, but it's completely built from the ground up.
Okay.
And if you never played it before, that's a plus. Final Fight CD is what Mubu's asking.
Oh, yeah. that'll work too.
Are you going with games that are not released in the arcade?
Though? You know, I was concentrating on
music's
that,
different,
but yeah.
Who cares? Let's have fun. Robotic Clone is also asking for Run Saber again. It's like Strider, which was an arcade game. Yeah, Strider is one of my favorites. Great soundtrack on that game too.
This is a Star. Is this a Star Fox clone? Just the whole thing.
I don't know when Star Blade came out, but you know what? This is the shittier one. The one that I like is on 3DO.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because this has the weird wireframe graphics.
I absolutely will be doing a 3DO stream with Audie at some point.
Yeah. Well, you were on my stream when you told him about it, and he was like, "Oh, we should do a stream together."
That's right. I was tipsy on that one. Speaking of which, it's almost beer o'clock. But let's see. Did you have another Sega CD suggestion?
It's not a Sega CD game, but maybe try the game's Troubleshooters.
No. What console?
Mega Drive. Well, there's Troubleshooters is a Genesis game, but there's a Battle Mania is what it's called in Japan. The sequel was Japan only, and that's a game that's stupidly expensive, but it's supposed to be pretty good. Because I know you've played the KO before. Unfortunately, you don't have body arm.
Japanese games, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. All right. Japan. Battle Mania. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, Annette Tatabi. Sorry, I'm just gonna. If you want to, you were talking about Turtles in Time, but you could play like TMNT Return of the Shredder, which is the Genesis Turtles in Time.
And that's like a Genesis exclusive? I forgot which of the Turtles games were which.
That would be just basically the Genesis version of Turtles in Time, in a way.
So far, this game is pretty cool.
Turtle Fighters. Yeah, it's a good game. We're talking about Soldier Blade. Android Assault. Okay, so Stephen Kane, and I think somebody actually mentioned this earlier, but Body Arm is Android Assault in English. So maybe look for that on Sega CD.
I definitely want to do Lords of Thunder after this too. I'm terrible at it though. I never get past like the second level, but
that's okay. No one's coming here for your expert gameplay.
That's for sure.
Next time you just bring on Carcinogen.
Absolutely.
Also, mentioned here is back when the Wii Shop channel was active, Starblade was available as a virtual console arcade. The presentation is very blurry. Ace, I actually have that game for this Wii, and I think that it's 480p. Because when I play it, it's very sharp, and you can also use the Wiimote as the control, which makes it a lot more fun. Return of the Shredder is kind of budget Turtles in Time. That's right, Mewboo. Oh, Bob's. They call him Bob. So it's just me and you, chat. Well, I'm looking at this guide real quick just to see. Let me switch over to Skype view so you can actually see what I'm doing in real time. So this is the Mega Drive Perfect catalog. And just because I'm not doing anything here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's hard to do this with the... It's got write-ups for every piece of hardware, accessory, all the games, a little bit of a description, also all the US and I think maybe some of the European games, overseas software that weren't released here in Japan. But it's a really awesome book, and there's perfect catalogs for like just about every major console, even ones you wouldn't think that were that major here, like the PC Engine, which I have one over there. Really awesome resource, and just fun to look at and read sometimes.
All right.
The Wii U was a mess. Oh, thanks. Time for that beer.
Yeah. Cheers, Jimmy.
Cheers, man. Okay.
All right. I think it's time for some Lords of Thunder, and then we'll go back to maybe we'll play 1 or 2 more, and then we'll go close out with the CPS2 game in honor of the awesomeness. And then I'm definitely going to be jumping over to your channel after all that.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I was going to stream or not, but
if you're not streaming, then we'll stay here a little longer. But maybe I'll jump on yours tomorrow or something.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, that's the case. Let's play some more. Let's play some more here then, because I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. If you're having fun too, yeah, let's keep the ball rolling. Sorry, I'm having a hard time catching up with all the chat, but Manjushri says download is a dope game for PCE CD. I think is that download 2? I think download 1. I thought it was a card game, but I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. Bruno saying you should look for the sequel to this game. Oh, I guess that was for Battle Mania.
No.
That is the really expensive and hard to find one. Nelson Painkiller has your number, by the way. He says, "Why do your streams always devolve to playing Sega CD games? I see a bias."
I am.
It is. I just got a Sega CD, I think, like last year, and I was like, "This is like the most fun I've ever had with like a system in like the last maybe 10 years." I've been missing out my whole life. Let's see. Ace is saying it's 480p. This is talking about Starblade for the Wii, but the screen looks like it has a bilinear filter over everything. You know, I didn't notice that, Ace, but I'll have to play it again. I played it earlier, well, not earlier this year, but at the end of last year again.
I just glanced over at the chat and saw Ace had said that the Wii Virtual Console is what made him so picky, because all he could see was like the mistakes, and me too. That's really what started RetroRGB, was me thinking I could just buy a Wii and a controller adapter and have a perfectly good console experience. And every time I turned around, I'm like, why does this not feel right? And I'm like, well, that's controller lag, that's display lag, that's a terrible filter on that game. And I'm just, all right, time for the old consoles then.
Yeah, well, thank God for shitty Wii Virtual Console.
Told you I stink at this game.
Everybody, that's the reason you're here. Nintendo's mistakes.
All right.
I think some of the Neo Geo games I played were pretty sharp. Like I have I think it's called Sengoku 2001. I don't know what the English title's called, but it's for it's a third game in Sengoku Densho, which there's a Sega CD, Sengoku Densho game. Second one, I think. That's a Neo Geo game, I think.
So, the PlayStation has a couple of games that would probably be a good fit for this as well. Now, there's obviously no public PlayStation Core yet, but...
That's what I was saying, like, you gotta play Adventure of Little Ralph. That's like love letter to retro games in '99. It was doing that way before. I did a video on that like in 2014. That my next video, the demo thing, is gonna be on all the Little Ralph demos that I own, and like a hidden gem demo kind of stupid thing. But that is a great game that I think, Bob, you would really enjoy. But it's tough as nails, but you have infinite continues, so yeah. But it was a game that was made from like passion and love, and it's just sad that it never took off. The world wasn't ready for it.
So if anybody listening now doesn't know, Jimmy actually just launched a new video, which once again did not show up anywhere for me. I did not get a notification. It didn't show up in my subscriptions, and once again I have unsubscribed to Jimmy and then resubscribed and clicked the bell.
You were going on the right thing. I unsubscribed, but then you resubscribed.
Yeah, it's Justin from Console Kits. Same thing. His videos don't show up for me, and one other friend, Genobi's sometimes do. Sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah,
Susan knows I've thumbed up too many bad videos, so she hides me.
But definitely explain what this is, because I thought it was pretty intriguing. Your video. Sorry.
The video?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just talking about demos. It's called Demoing Demos, and then the first video was the pilot disc to basically the PlayStation Underground in Japan.
Okay.
It's called Play PlayStation. And I'm guessing you actually saw the video, or did you have it
Oh yeah, watch the whole thing. You are absolutely shit at promoting yourself, Jimmy. That's not at all what the video's about. Well, it is obviously about PS1 demos, but
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Jimmy goes in and shows the first disc and what is found on it, what's playable, what's worth playing. So you basically, you can get these demo discs for near free and still get something to play. But he also translated some of the Japanese commercials that were on there. So if you want to see some of the ridiculousness that came with these to try to hype them up, I mean, it's actually like, it's a video that covers a lot, because like you get the culture crossover, you also get a taste of the games, but you also kind of get a sense of what they thought was good marketing back then.
Oh yeah, like, oh, mom and dad are gonna get a divorce while we're playing Tekken.
Right.
Dad's cheating on mom with a host girl.
Right.
Mubu says he's also getting out of here. Thanks for the fun stream. Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Also, Nelson also gave you a super chat of CLP 5000, and because I'm uncultured swine, I don't know what currency that is, but
thank you very much, Nelson. It's very nice of you.
Thank you. No demands, nothing, just out of the goodness of his heart. Well, I appreciate it. See, Bob, I don't have to promote it if you're gonna cut a nice little promotion for me on that. I mean, it's all just silly videos, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
It's fun, and I love demos. So earlier today, I put an order online for 15 demos that I had my eye on. So I've got tons and tons of demos, and the demo scene in Japan was somehow even bigger than anywhere else. And I've had like a few things written for a long time. So what's funny about that video, Bob? I put that together in 1 week, which for me is like a record. Yeah, like that whole video, I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to finish this video that I've been working on because I need to buy more things that require a lot of money. And for 2 seconds of video, I would feel weird. I was like, I got to put something out. So I was like, can I do this video in a week? I was like, yeah, there you go.
I was trying to do the
that was a challenge.
auto fire thing.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
The Rise Plus. Manjushri says GameCubes where I'm at are just stupid pricey. That's so funny because they're still so cheap here in Japan. When I first moved back to Japan like 5-ish years ago, they were selling GameCubes for $2.
Really?
Yeah, loose ones for like $1, $2 in some places, and like complete in box they were $5 to $15 because they're just, no one wanted them.
Somebody asked me the other day on Twitter, and I didn't have time to respond, but what do I think defines a console as retro? And I think it's defined for us in that if you have something that is modern, and now it's old, and you could buy it for $2 at a thrift store, and then all of a sudden it starts going back up in price, that's when it's officially a retro game.
That's a good way of looking at it. Bob bringing that sophistication.
That means the Wii U is going to be retro at some point.
Yeah, very soon. They don't even have the marketplace anymore for that, right? Or is it about to end?
I can't even. I can't remember, and I haven't actually bought a Wii U game since way before the Switch came out. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I had a Wii. Well, I have a Wii U, but it's still in the States. They're the games are at an all-time low here. Like, they're so cheap. I actually, just speaking of online stuff, I downloaded a bunch of PS3, PS1 games. These are games that are like $400, $500 plus dollars. Some of them like $1,000 plus now for some stupid reason, but they're like, $3 to $6 on PSN. So I thought about doing a video. This is my goal of selling out, Bob. And maybe you can help me promote it since you're so good at it. But maybe 10 games that are prohibitively expensive on PS1 that you can get on PS3. And of course, it's not going to look as good, and you can always emulate. And you got things like MiSTer, so I would definitely mention that. But if you just want to have that peace of mind and buy it, and give to whoever owns it now. It's a good way to learn about some new games, maybe. But it's funny, yeah. I don't know when that's gonna die out. The Wii, they had a lot of cool games on the Wii that you can find them. Oh, look at that!
All right, what game are we playing next? Anybody in the chat? Any recommendations? Jimmy, any recommendations? I'm totally down for whatever, as long as it just feels like it should be an arcade game.
Do you want to play a Warriors type of like action game?
Sure.
Okay. Maybe try Dana Megami Tanjo for Mega Drive. If you kind of like the Golden Axe kind of aesthetic, it's like a side-scrolling action game, but you know it could be like a arcade-ish game. Let's take a look at this chat here. Atari 2600, not retro.
What was the name of the game?
Dana, Dahna. Maybe you don't have it. If it's
listed as the Japanese games. Uh-oh,
Doraemon is pretty good. Oh, there it is. I see it.
You do?
Well, we could skip that. We can do something else.
No, what is it?
Dahna.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not. This is how much beer I've had, so
I
doubt I'm tipsy already. Sorry about
that. I don't
that.
English anymore. Let's see. Manjushri says he's been buying cheap PS3 and Xbox 360 games and other stuff like that. Yeah, now's the time. Unfortunately, I will say this about PS1 games in Japan. The time to get those cheap PS1 obscure games within the last years, it's gone. Games that I remember looking at for years at the same store that, you know, they've been like $5 to $10 or even cheaper. All of a sudden, they're like $300, seemingly overnight. It's crazy. I don't understand how it works. Maybe it's a bunch of people getting stimulus checks in other countries, buying up stuff on auction sites.
Nelson Painkiller wanted to know what game that was. That was a demo from Chris Covell for the Super Graphics. It was in the Smoke Pack, and it's pretty neat. You can steer the ship, you can't shoot, as you saw when it was up on screen before, but it just looked really impressive. So, check this out. I'm holding left. Oh, wait, no. Alright, maybe...
Brian Renault is saying Yokai Buster for SNES. I think it's called Yokai Buster Duka. That's the one I'm thinking of. I think that's a reskin of like a Jetsons game that came out in the West, which is kind of weird. And they turned into like this cute anime girl. Lucas Peruzovic says Space Mambo, which that is a great game. Great soundtrack too.
All right, Jimmy, if you want to keep track of these and you just tell me which ones to load, I am totally down.
Yeah. Do you have MSX games? That you can play on the
you know what? Let's find out.
All right. Yeah, if you do, Space Mambo is one of the best games on the system. MSX 2 and 2 Plus, and I think there's a special audio option. I have it for the Wii, and I regret not buying it when it was like $200 here in Japan. But it's a Konami shooting game. And a Mambo would be a sunfish, so that's the shape of the giant enemy spaceship. It's actually quite cute. Yeah, a Blarg PS3 is a quality system.
Apparently, I don't have anything for the MSX.
Ah, damn. Yeah, if it was MSX, I have a few games that you might like.
I'll double check again, but no, nothing.
Yeah, Bruno Silva saying Donna's really hard. It's pretty tough, but once you get used to it, I think you could beat the game in like 20 minutes. So it's like, it's one of those games where it's like, it's hard, but once you figure out how to do everything, it's like, 30 minutes, you're done. Rewind Mike did a video on that, and he did the video, so I was like, I don't have to do one anymore, because his video was very good. I don't know what he's up to these days, but...
Alright, I'm just trying to see if there's anything out there that we haven't played yet. Well, I mean Vectrix, but that wouldn't really count. All right, so where am I going next then, Jimmy?
Do you want to play... Oh, yeah, what's up?
Your call.
All right, so we have Game Boy, GBA, Odyssey 2. Oh my god.
There were a few people in the chat, right? that had suggestions?
Yeah, I think one of them. Let me go back up real quick. One of them was, of course, Space Mamba. We can't do that. Or we could just ask again. We'll see. We'll see what anybody has in here. I was gonna say you could play that the ghetto version of Turtles in Time for Genesis.
Yeah, you know what?
Let's
just different. Start with that, and then we'll figure out.
Okay.
We'll play on the next game. We probably should do one shooter for Super Nintendo because.
Oh yeah. If you want to do a shooter, there is there's Axelay. I don't know if that was an arcade game. That's kind of neat. There's more or less to games. I think UN Squadron is pretty good. Area 88. I don't think that was an arcade game, but it's based on a manga series. You ever play that?
No, I don't think so. So there's two Turtles games here. There's Hyperstone Heist and Tournament Fighters.
Hyperstone Heist is the one you want to play.
Okay.
If it's the beat 'em up. Tournament Fighters, that game has I think it has April O'Neil as a playable character, which is kind of cool, but I think the Super Nintendo one has the ninja chick, who's totally not the chick from the third movie. Mitsu. Space Megaforce was mentioned by Steven in the chat. R-Type 3 from Alex. That would be a good one for Super Nintendo. Oh, Tyler with Moai-kun for Famicom. That's a lovely game. Bruno says Nightmare on MSX is really nice. I love that game. Majo Densetsu. Area 88 was a CPS1 game. Alright, thanks, Steven. That is a port. It's a good game, though. So, Body Blows Biscuit Butter has the best suggestion. Anticipation for NES.
Body Blows Biscuit Butter?
That's his username. That sounds like a game, but
I don't know if that's sexual or making me hungry, but it's something.
He's just saying
Body
all the
Blows
right things
Biscuit Butter.
Username.
I like biscuits and butter.
Biscuit butter, and you know what? Some people are into the body blows. You know, depends on what type you are. Are you an S or an M?
To each their own.
Blarg says Donkey Kong or Burger Time for Coleco.
Both are actually, that might be fun. Although Burger Time is an actual arcade game, right? But isn't it vertically oriented?
What was that last part? I didn't hear that.
Like a Tate game, vertically oriented.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tate, I think so.
Yeah, so I don't have the ability to rotate the CRT here.
I don't know if for Coleco, I don't know what the deal is with that. Oh, look, Artemio Urbina is in the chat.
Hey, what's up, man?
That's a name that sounds very familiar. Have you benefited from any of this guy's work?
Oh, I've never heard of him before.
Is he also like one of the nicest guys?
Our Lord and Savior Artemio.
Oh, that Lord and Savior guy. not that Lord Voltar fraud.
No.
That guy likes horse semen. That's what I heard.
Allegedly,
yeah. Very careful here. Now, Artemio is a nice guy, man. Sometimes I'll think like, oh man, I kind of wish I still had Twitter so I could have access to Artemio. But... Of course, Bob, you too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just heard Twitter sucks, man. Left my ass out Voltar slander. It's his lot in life to be slandered. Alright, but when we were young, adults didn't play games. For the most part, yeah. It was a lot of just kid stuff.
I don't know, my dad always enjoyed playing.
Yeah, my dad is who got me involved in games. It's Commodore 64 and, of course, the NES and all that stuff, so... Sever had a good suggestion. Donkey Kong 94 on the Super Game Boy. That's a good version of Donkey Kong.
Ooh, yeah.
Good graphics and good gameplay.
I'm terrible at that game, but that actually is a great idea.
Yeah.
Just finish up a level of this. This is strange. Like, when I first started playing this game, I was like, okay, it's every beat 'em up ever. And with, like, some turtles to it. And for whatever reason, like, I just started getting a little sucked into it. It just flows nice. And it doesn't seem to be unfair yet. Because all these games, you know, they get unfair at some point.
Yeah, those 16-bit Turtles games are amazing. Last year, I finally got like a complete in-box copy of Turtles in Time here, and very happy. It was one of those games, one of those white whale games, as the trendy YouTubers use. More money, less time. I guess that's Lucas talking about being an adult.
Yeah, it seems like the only time I ever get a chance to actually play games anymore is on these streams. And the only thing I would change about it is if we could do both at the same time. Like, if Jimmy and I could be here in person and maybe have Stiga in remotely, and, you know, and we could just be doing 2-player like this.
Alright, this game's pretty good, but a bit better on the Master System. Like, oh, come on, man. Yeah. It's like we're playing Master System games and you're saying it's better on the Master System. It's unpal.
I want to hear him then.
50 hertz or get the fuck out. Oh, come on, man.
We'll be playing on original hardware and he'll say, this is good, but it's better on the Mister.
How much did Smoke pay you to say that? No, I wish you could come over and hang out. That's one of the things I was like, oh, I wish I could stream and do co-op.
I know Destiny has been watching flights all the time for going back to Japan. As soon as the world opens up,
tag them.
Yeah, the flights are cheap. She's always great about that too. She'll just like look at flights all the time, and as soon as one cheap one comes up, she'll just be able to grab a super cheap flight. It's a little different for her though, because she could fit normally in a plane seat.
She's small, right? So
yeah, even that 1 week I was thin, my shoulders are still as wide as they are, so I don't fit right in those airplane seats.
Yeah, same. I'm like, I'm just kind of. Ray Commend is in the chat. How you doing, Ray Commend?
Hey, what's up, Ray?
Also a good channel you should also check out, and Bob's done a lot of things with too. Happy Sunday. That's what he says. Vincent Anthony asks, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? He says he likes Michelangelo.
That's my favorite. That's why I'm playing him.
Oh, by the way, a friend of mine let me borrow the Last Ronin comic.
Oh, yeah?
Recently. Have you heard about that?
No.
Oh, it's I guess, is it Eastman and Laird maybe even wrote a new Ninja Turtles comic, and it's like what happens after all the adventures, and it's not based on any sort of like just the comics or just the cartoon, so like anybody can enjoy it, but like 3 of the turtles are dead.
Wow.
And there's 1 turtle remaining. And do you want me to spoil this, or?
I don't know. I don't think we should. I think it's pretty.
Okay.
That sounds like a really good story.
Like, you don't know who it is until like the very end of the first comic, and there's gonna be 5 of them planned, and I think the second one just came out. It's very good, but it's in like the futuristic. It's like the grandson of Shredder, I think, is the guy that this lone turtle, the last Ronin, is after. And yeah, there are a couple of twists in it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it pans out, but it's really good.
Hey, Carsey just jumped in. Said looks like the encoding turned out okay. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I had Carsey check my settings before because I didn't like the way some of the last few streams have come out. They look a little too pixelated. So I cheesed out and just went back to OBS's basic mode, and it seemed fine. And I was like, oh, something's going to go wrong. I feel it. So I bothered him to check my settings. So, yeah. Basic did seem okay, though.
Man, Drewshree said his house burned down recently. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
But he's hoping to start school soon. I'm guessing college. Well, man, all the best. I hope it wasn't. I mean, I don't know what you can say to that, but I hope it wasn't that bad. Smash TV says the image looks great, by the way.
Ah, thank you.
And so does Recommend. He's asking, is that the Pyron plus MSU MD music patched version?
No, I didn't have that one on here. Otherwise, I totally would have. Alex just finished that, I believe. Well, I mean, Gabriel did the patch a while back, but Alex just did the MSU MD version.
Scepter Sever asks, were the turtles big in Japan?
Good question.
Kind of. The games were more popular than anything. I don't see too much turtle stuff, but you know what's funny is I know someone who goes and gets her hair done at a place called Cowabunga. She told me that. I was like, oh, that's like Ninja Turtles. And he's like, I don't know what that is. But she asked the lady, he's like, yeah, I named it because I love Ninja Turtles. So she does like hair colorings and stuff. So I mean, there was definitely a market for it, but it wasn't that big. It's kind of like The Simpsons and like South Park. It's like people who know about it, but it wasn't ever really big. It wasn't like a cultural phenomenon. In fact, like I think The Simpsons, a lot of it didn't really get too well known until the movie, because they had a promotion with Mr. Donut, where it was like, oh, the pink donut from the movie, Homer Simpson. It's like, oh, it's those yellow Americans. Instead of those yellow Japanese.
So I got a random question for you, Jimmy. Netflix has a new special about the history of samurai, which is kind of hysterical because it's cool. It's 99% white people talking about Japanese history, where I'm just like, maybe I'm the racist one for thinking it's racist, but it's like, come on, dude.
Didn't you know The Last Samurai was a white guy?
Yeah, I know. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the last samurai.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
But I did. The random question is, what's the Japanese pronunciation of samurai? Is it samurai?
Samurai.
Oh, because I heard years ago somebody pronounce it samuri, and I'm like, there's no way that's right. There's no way. But they were saying it with such cunty confidence. They were just looking down at everybody else because they were. It's like when people realize that you're supposed to say Hiroshima, not Hiroshima. Like the first couple of people to do it would do it with that, like, I'm better than you in their voice, and it's just like. Yeah. So I just assumed, I was like, wow, maybe they're right. Maybe it's the different pronunciation.
Yeah, it would be samurai. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. Is the samurai thing?
Samuri. This is how somebody said it. Yeah.
That sounds like a drink.
Oh, I would totally drink me some samuri.
I'd down some samuris. Yeah, man. I love the samurai. It's probably my favorite. God bless it. The samurai. Oh, Castlevania games. Ryan is here. Next drink is on me, fellas.
Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. That's nice of you, man. I appreciate that. Oh, I thought I was game over dead. I guess I got one last life left. I like the controls of this game. I like the music in this game. This one is, I'm definitely going to be playing this one again in the future.
Yeah, it's looking very good. I mean, like, Turtles in Time probably, technically, I guess graphically it looks better, but for slightly. I don't have this game, unfortunately. I really like to own it, but yeah, this is indeed a Hyperstone Heist. Just it was a little bit confusion. Also, what about when the Simpsons went to Japan and he was noticed for looking like Mr. Sparkle? Mr. Sparkle. You know what's funny is, like, when I was a kid, I didn't know. You know, I just watched that. I think it's funny, but they're actually speaking Japanese in it, right? So
that is funny. All right, what's next, Jimmy?
Oh
wait, ColecoVision Donkey Kong, right?
Yeah, let's play that. Simpsons Konami game for Mister. That would be great. That was like a game that I loved growing up. That's probably the first arcade game that I remember actually beating, but I probably spent like $18 on it. CVL with his comment, another movie that offends me, Paul Mooney, some Chappelle Show. We can't continue Paul Mooney's conversation in that Mooney at the movies because Bob would get banned. I don't want him to get banned, but hilarious. Let's see. I hope they could add online play with Mr. FPGA, says Vincent. That would be awesome. Do you think that's doable, Bob?
Well,
this is a great version of Donkey Kong for
the time when it was released. Absolutely.
Yeah, for what it is, that's amazing.
Manjushri, how do you pronounce that, Jimmy?
I don't know if it's supposed to be Japanese because I wouldn't be technically correct, but Manjushri, who also, $5 got a jet. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That is very nice of you.
With a Buddhist looking, maybe I don't want to.
So this was actually a good suggestion because could you imagine owning a ColecoVision with the games that were of that era and you see this as your arcade port? I mean, that's actually really
That
impressive.
is fantastic. No, for that time, I'd be like, don't get no better than this, boys.
It's like the opposite of Pac-Man on Atari 2600.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
I didn't know about that game because I didn't have Atari until maybe GTV or G4 is what it's called. And they would talk shit about games and like talk about the Atari. But I think Freaks and Geeks. You remember that show?
Never saw it.
They were big on Atari. It's very good.
Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but nope.
Yeah, I mean, when I had the DVD set back then, I used to watch it on like ABC Family after it was canceled. It was a good show though. It was kind of neat. Like I just missed the 80s, like growing up, and I'm a 90s person, so. But it's like, oh god, that's what it would have been like being a freak or a geek in the 80s. Ray Command is talking about the Japanese pronunciation being very similar to Spanish, but yeah, the vowel sounds are the same. So, if you know Spanish and you want to know how to say something in Japanese, just use the Spanish vowel sounds. That's why when I was in high school and I moved from Hawaii to South Carolina, and all they had was Spanish, it's like, oh, you pronounce all the words correctly, because nobody could wrap it around their heads for some reason. At least in my class. Like, oh yeah, it's like all the vowel sounds are the same in Japanese, so. I think that, what does this say? I'll just skip past. I used to think Paul Mooney was the dad from Coming to America. Very different.
I don't know what the heck just happened. There was no, like, ending scene.
Dr. Claus says, I hope that in 2021 that mass production can proceed on the Dreamcast component cables. This is the HD.
Yes.
Is it the Rectal Vision?
Yes. DC Rectals.
DC Rectals. I will say that the when I met Steve over in Ohio or Kentucky or whatever, very kind and gave me those Genesis cables. They are amazing.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I'm a believer. I want to get HD RetroVision for everything now.
And you don't have to worry about anything because they're all
finely tuned and tested, and it's almost like you guys know what you're doing out there in your little group of people, your trusted group, your circle. Speaking of which, is a Retro Roundtable ever going to make a comeback, or did Voltar F that up for everybody?
Oh, it's definitely Zach's fault.
Zach is just he's a character. Kind of like he's like that character in a horror movie you want to see die first. I'm just joking.
No, it was just a scheduling thing at the end of the day. Like, it was just so hard to get all of us on the same page to do that.
It's been like over a year, 2 years maybe?
Well, we did a reunion at Uplink, but that didn't go well at all.
The convention.
Well, I shouldn't say that. The panel went really well, but that was one of the worst experiences of my life. I don't even really want to talk about that, to be honest with you. But the panel was great, and the guys were great.
Okay, well, I mean, that's...
So I know this isn't an arcade game, but I did just want to see this Smurfs because so many people talk about this being a really great Coleco game.
I guess they just really hate the Smurfs. They want to see their Smurfs get impaled on pink. Is it stalagmites or stalactites?
I guess because maybe remember Super Mario Brothers wasn't out when this game was released, so maybe this is like a old school side-scrolling adventure game that people really like.
Yeah, for this time period, this would have been amazing.
I gotta do it just for a second. I don't know if I could figure the core, but I just want to show you what 2600 Pac-Man is like.
Yeah,
just to give you the contrast.
It's not even like.
Yeah.
You know what Pac-Man on 2600 reminds me of? A dirty 16:9er, somebody who takes a 14:3 image and just stretches it. There's something about look at those dots, right? They're not even dots; they're dashes. Dr. Claus says Paul Mooney is one of the greatest of all time. I agree with that 100%. I don't care how offensive or how much he offends people. Oh my god, that flickering is worse than I remember.
I must not have set up the stick. Hold on 1 second.
Nelson Painkiller asks maybe some Popeye, maybe? Popeye for Nintendo or one of the older consoles? Oh, there you go. Manjushri. So it's the Buddhist Bodhisattva. Later, man. Thank you so much, too, by the way.
All right. I have my
I got a lot to catch up on.
I have my wireless keyboard here, so if I ever need to add special stuff in, I just fire this thing up and make it a lot easier.
Lucas is mentioning the Superior Homebrew Pac-Man on 2600. Have you ever played that?
No, but you know what? I have the smoke pack on here, so I might be able to find it.
All right, we'll play that maybe back to back just real quick to see. Holy Lord of Mercy. So is this the real reason why E.T. got buried in the sand? Because like they've made so many carts of this because they thought it would be a big seller and it was just shit. And
I mean,
I get my game history mixed up sometimes, but
no, there's a whole lot of speculation about that. But
just producing too many games. Like they produce more games for this than they had consoles currently out there, right? Is that like one of the stories?
You know, I don't remember which story is true and which wasn't, and there was
right,
also
because there's been so many over the years.
Yeah,
because people are all even saying there's no such thing as the landfill, and then what, like 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago? Oh, here they are. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Let me see if there's a homebrew version. Homebrew.
This version is how is highly regarded. I get that from a US perspective, but the NES Famicom version came out a little over a year later. It kicks its ass in every possible way. If you're talking, you can't be talking about Pac-Man. Must be talking about something else.
Oh wow!
Games.
This is strikingly
there's a lot
different.
of Pac-Mans. Oh my goodness.
This is
Dr. Claus said he took Japanese language over at Satellite in high school in South Carolina. Really? Well, maybe Dr. Claw, if you were in South Carolina at the time. I was at Stratford High School. Transferred in over there from Pearl City. So, small world.
That's so funny. This is so much better than the original.
That looks like it would be what I would expect from, even with the dashes though.
Yeah.
I mean, Pac-Man looks like Pac-Man. Those Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde look good. Oh, look, even when you eat the dots.
It's fast moving.
How's it? Yeah, I was gonna say, how's it feel? So that's the main thing. Cause like that's the one thing I think people don't realize when they see the Pac-Man is that it feels garbage, right?
It's not that the other one felt garbage. It just didn't feel authentic.
Yeah. I mean, how do you screw up the controls in Pac-Man? Come on.
Right, you don't even need a button. It's just a stick. Yeah, all right.
Seth was asking about JP21. I use JP21 for like everything, except for my Super Famicom. It's funny that I didn't realize who they were when we were at RetroCreate, but and I saw your interview with them too. But the Retro Access people.
Oh yeah, Rachel. Yeah.
I have some of their cables here with me, and I still use their Super Famicom one with like the extra shielding. Or whatever, it was like the deluxe cable. This is before I knew there was a Bob, but I knew about a RetroRGB. So,
just for the record, the Vectrix core. I don't know if you could see this. That's what the Vectrix core is doing on the MiSTerCade machine here. So no Vectrix for us, I guess. It looks good on stream though.
Yeah, I was gonna say the stream. It's actually like legible. So. Nelson's asking about Paprium pre-orders.
No.
Milos Ogjenovic says hi all. Got a couple of Miloses in here. Steven's correcting me on stock. I think I'm like really behind. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna skip through some stuff. Sorry. CVL says, God, this game is fugly and sounds like hell.
Yep, both are accurate. What about a shooter on the Super Nintendo, and then we'll go on to. Actually, is there?
Okay, you know what's a good exclusive shooter for Super Nintendo is the Macross shooter. Macross Scramble Valkyrie, I think it's called. In the Japanese section.
Oh, okay. Of course, it's in the Japanese section.
But yeah, if you wanted to play like UN Squadron, that game's great too.
MAC?
MACROSS. It's not the best game in the world, but if you liked Robotech growing up, it'll be a treat.
No, it's funny. There's no MAC. It's cut off somehow. I wonder if I downloaded the pack wrong or something, because there's specifically nothing before MAD.
All right, Steven's saying it starts with C. It might be like Cho something or another. Let me look up the actual Japanese title. Might be like Cho Kido or something like that. It's probably like okay, yeah, that's right. It's Chojiku Yosai Macross Scrambled Valkyrie. What a mouthful that is. CHOU or CHO with the little line over it.
Here we go.
You got it? All right. Thanks, Steven. I always forget about like the robot animes. They always have long. Jinkman also says there's always Proteus. You know what? I forgot. I have the Proteus games too. But I guess those are arcade ports. Great games though. And you know what? The Super Famicom versions also have extra characters like Goemon. A Street Fighter Alpha 3 on GBA does pretty well. I used to have that game.
So you change between a ship and a person?
It's like the robot form, the halfway form, and the ship.
Interesting.
Depending on you've you grew up around the time. You've seen Robotech, right?
No, never.
Oh wow, okay. You've seen any Macross?
Probably not. I mean, I'm a little older, so I probably just hit like slightly different stuff. Like we had Mask, which is like a really bad Transformers ripoff.
I remember. Yeah, I didn't watch it when I was a kid, but I watched it on all the nostalgia channels. Yeah, you would have. It would have been mid '80s or late '80s. So I think you would have been about the age for it. But yeah, I don't know. I remember it vaguely on television. I'm thinking it was really cool.
Remember though, pre-internet, like if your neighbors and didn't have it, and your cousins didn't have it, and your school didn't have it, then you didn't have it. Period.
Right.
Wow, that was quick.
Oh, did you? Yeah, you crashed into the junk. Roger Nia says, "What about Rhythm Tengoku on GBA? Great game, but
what is it?
I guess that could be. It's what is it called in English? Rhythm Heaven, Tengoku. So that's the first game in the Rhythm Heaven series. I wish I had like access to one. Just grab them, show them, just to give people some things. Snowy Chi, how are you doing, Snowy Chi? Lin Min Mei, yes. A lot of people had a crush on Lin Min Mei. Thunder Spirits is brought up over here too. Vincent was saying there's a slow-mo version of Thunder Force 3 on SNES. Yep. Recommend is saying that he thinks that Macross was one of those early Sunday AM shows. So that if you got up late, you missed it. So maybe you're just exposing yourself for being a lazy little kid.
Well, I stink at this game. It looks really cool, but I can't even get past the first part.
Oh damn.
All right, let's pick like one more, and then we'll do a CPS2 game, and we'll call it.
Okay.
What's another choice here, Jimmy?
What system?
Yes, system could still be Super Nintendo. I don't really care. Or didn't somebody have a Game Boy Advance game that you said you liked?
Street Fighter Alpha 3.
No, I don't know. I mean, nah. I'd rather just play Street Fighter.
Well, what genre? If you give me a genre, I'll probably be able to pick up something for you.
You know what? What about a Game Boy Advance shooter? Just because, what the hell?
A Game Boy Advance shooter. You know, you could go Gunstar Heroes Advance. Or a Gunstar Super Heroes. I think I actually played that the time you were on my stream when we did the GBA, the last stream I had. That probably neither of us very barely remember because a lot of substances were involved. But yeah, Gunstar Superheroes is awesome. I think you'd like that.
All right.
Cold case out to Metal Jack. Let's see. Scepter Sever had Kido Senshi Gundam Seed on Game Boy Advance. I remember Gundam Seed. Recommend was recommending. See, Metal Slug Advance, which is good, and that game is like $200 here in Japan too. So, Silent Jet is saying the stream lags every time that static background comes up. Yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's lagging too. At least on my side, it's fine. But yeah, we do like transport ourselves into the game. Also,
this game might cut off a tiny bit. There's not much I can do about that, but
yeah.
Just for the record, though, the Mister has been centering these perfectly on this arcade machine. So, anybody that was worried about that, it's not like swapping boards.
Vincent Anthony's bringing up some things too. Iridion 2 and Gradius Galaxies. Oh, I forgot about that. I remember Iridion. That's the game. I think if you just go left.
You just keep... Oh! Ah! I was waiting.
Duke Nukem. Oh man, I forgot that was even on Game Boy Advance. Dropping signal a few times.
Yeah, I think I was supposed to. Change a setting for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, and I changed it for Game Boy. But I may have forgotten. So if it drops again, let me know, and I'll try to change the setting.
Okay.
So with this game, I can just keep running. I don't actually have to like fight anybody.
I think certain parts you can just keep running. Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be a boss fight here and there. Like I think right now you're at a boss fight.
This is interesting.
So she's asking to play through this Silent Hill digital drama GBA. I don't think that's gonna happen, even though there is a Silent Hill arcade game. Vincent Anthony says Phalanx. John D asked me if I have met up with Luke Morse before. No, and I don't think I'm on Luke Morse's level. So I don't think Luke Morse. He's one of these really old school YouTube guys. He kind of just back in the day, anyways, he would just kind of like record footage of his TVs or like arcade screens and stuff, and just some people love him, some people hate him. Like I think my friend John, like the Happy Console Gamer, knew him back in the day, loves that guy. Seems to be a very nice guy, but yeah, I'm not on his radar, nor am I on his level. He's probably a nice guy. You know, he's probably be like, yeah, I'll meet up with you. I don't know, but he's like, yeah, old school. Smash TV says he's mostly known for repairing arcade boards.
I feel like I've heard the name before, and I may have even spoken to him. I usually put a face to a name, or like remember somebody that I meet virtually through like the subject that we're talking about, and don't even remember what their name is, and it makes it way harder for people with like screen names that sound like other stuff.
It's funny, people are saying in the chat too, it's like, well, one thing Linux Lover says, greetings to Bob, Jimmy, and all you guys. Well, greetings to you too.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. Neo Infinity is saying that Luke is a top guy, and he has some hard-off videos, and he's a guy who can revive any arcade console board. So, yeah, I know he has a lot of like hardware stuff. He just seems to have like this garage or basement or something just full of just really cool hardware. So
All right.
There you go. Smash TV, the one and only Luke Morse won. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not on his level. So I think like who's this peon? Who's this peasant?
Yeah, I don't really buy into that like on the level.
I don't think
stuff.
he would. I don't think he would think that. I'm just joking. But yeah. But some people do think like that though. Yeah. Some people do buy into that. I'm finally popular because of YouTube. I'm so cool.
I must not have the ramen like for that.
What's that?
Uh-oh, crap.
Bob was like that. Bob changed when he got YouTube famous.
Switch to you. Hold on. Let me reboot this sucker again. 1 second. Yeah.
Nick Q says Luke Morse is awesome. He would definitely do it. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's a nice dude. Well, I mean, I'm partially joking when I said I'm not on the level, but like that guy is like synonymous, you know, with like, oh, you're talking about YouTube or Japanese stuff and arcade stuff. I don't know anything about video games. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not an expert in anything.
So I think this might actually be CPS 1, the Mega Man, the Power Battle 1. I think it might have also been one of those things that's available on the CPS2 multi, which is why I accidentally used it in my stream. But
okay.
Yeah, let's. All right, so.
Power Battle. I have that. I guess there's 2 of them, right? Like I have it on PS2. I know you were playing that with Smoke last time.
Yeah, I was trying to look for a CPS2 game, but I'm not sure which one would be in here. So, if anybody in the chat wouldn't mind letting me know what a MiSTerCPS2 game is that's not Mega Man 2, because I didn't have the right version of that on there apparently. But any of the ones that Hotego made available for us this week, I'll close on that. But if not, closing on a very awesome CPS1 game is about as good as it gets, because this is exactly what this is for. This is the MiSTerCade in an arcade machine playing arcade games.
I'm actually reading the chat that that Luke Morse had some problems with his marriage because of his arcade collecting. So
was that the guy that like shut off his channel after and then came back or something, but he deleted his channel, or is that somebody else? Once again, well, I'm not talking any shit to Luke. I have I'm not remembering who he is.
We're not talking shit about anybody. I'm not sure, but I think that he kind of went away from it. Might be this guy, but I didn't know anything about that.
Huh.
That's too bad to hear. But you know, it could be anything. You know, it could have been cars. It could have been girls. That happens a lot here in this country. Brandon Cruz says Jimmy Hapa in the flesh. Always cool to see the face behind the voice wall. That's very nice of you to say, but
yeah.
I'd be like, that's this guy, this egg-shaped person. Yeah, Nick Q says I don't think he deleted his channel, but he did leave for a while. Yeah, he's the one. Oh, I'm sorry.
That happened to my buddy Justin, aka the Goodwill Hunter. He got in an argument with his wife one time. It was like, you know what, fine. I don't even want to do this anymore, and he deletes his YouTube channel.
Oh wow!
And then they woke up the next morning like, well, that was uncalled for, and he was able to get his channel and all the videos back, but not the subscribers. So he really had to start from scratch, which stinks because he had for the time he had a couple thousand followers, which was a lot. I mean, we're talking almost 10 years ago now. So.
Well, I will say, like, I've heard some stories about, you know, a person or two here, and they go to these conventions, Bob. They get tempted, and things happen. Thankfully, with me and you, your wife had an agreement before we met, so that was okay. But these people don't have the same agreement.
It's true.
Larga saying he'd coralick you.
Oh,
coralick my balls.
You know, I tried so hard with that guy. I even, through a mutual friend, was like, give this dude my personal cell phone number. He's about to make a really big mistake promoting a really bad company. And I was like, and you can tell him it's my personal cell phone number. He could dox me with it if he chooses. That's how important it is to me that he doesn't promote this awful company. He'd never got a phone call. I don't know if he did the video or not, but I don't, yeah, he did. His ego is so fragile that he wouldn't even talk to me to do the right thing because he didn't want to talk to me. And it's like, you know what, man, I might not be a nice person, but at least I wear myself on my shirt sleeves, right? Like what you see
Bob,
is
you're
what you get
selectively nice, and that's the way most people should be. You know, here's the thing: you're selectively nice, but you should be nice at first, and then when you realize, like, oh, this is not the way to go.
I always try really hard, and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, other chances, whatever it takes. It's not about being right or wrong. Man, I'm wrong all the freaking time. It's how you treat other people, and if you even care about doing the right thing at all.
Yeah. Well, except for that time that, remember when we first met, and I ordered before you at Heart Attack Grill, and like, oh wait, hold a second, you know who I am? Ordered before me, and I was like, I just, she was looking at me, and it's just like, what have you done in your life that thinks you can order your burger?
Jimmy, I was legit wondering where you were going with that, because I was like, did I do something before that? You had me going for a second there.
Badass doing it. Don't you ever order your burgers and beers before me.
That was good times.
I'm sorry to hear about this stuff with Luke Morris, but it seems like it's been resolved, so it's good. Let's pop this in, play some of that. Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes your hobbies will just with anything, any sort of obsession, you just kind of lose track of things. And let's be honest, like, not all marriages are perfect.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this before, but I always get really upset about when I hear stories like that, and it just, like, I had to have like a talk with my wife about this at one point, because, and I don't talk like this, so give me a second to explain myself, but like every once in a while she'd come home and be like, okay, so I bought this, but I want you to know that, I'm like, listen, I never asked, ever. I never tried to control your money. I don't know who you dated before me that made you feel guilty about earning your own money and then spending that money on yourself, but I'm not that guy, ever. So don't ever feel like you need to justify anything. I mean, if you want to share with me the thing that you bought, just know that I might care equally as little as you do when I tell you about the nerd stuff, but like, it's, it's mutual.
Long answer, Bob.
Yeah, I never got it. I never got who burned in her head like that you have to feel guilty about earning money and buying something.
Don't worry, sweet. You don't have to tell me. I already looked through all of your emails and your text messages. So.
Oh man, I dated a bunch of those.
By the way, your friend Lon is in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Lon?
Had a couple of good interviews with.
The last time Lon jumped in the chat, I was a little tipsy.
On Lon's channel that I was like, oh, this really helped me out. I think it was a camera review. I just bought a camera, by the way.
Oh, nice.
It must have been a review he did like 5 or 6 years ago, because this is not the most up-to-date camera. I can't afford that shit, so thank you, Lon.
Yeah, if you all have time, this is completely free, so I don't mind pressuring people into doing this a little bit, but I think that you should all go to Lon's Twitter page and retweet his send Lon to space thing, because I would like to see Lon to space. I would also like to go to space very much, but I am over the weight limit for space, but Lon isn't. So we should send Lon to space. Not, I'll get there eventually. So yeah, absolutely go to his Twitter and do that. I'll post a link in the chat before.
I'm gonna look for that right now. So you keep playing
that'd be awesome, Jimmy.
All right. Send Lon to space. I see like some NASA tweet up.
Oh yeah. Hopefully you'd like me to come back from space too. Yes. To clarify, Lon, the goal would be to send you to space and to get you back home to tell us about it. Yes, definitely. All right, I'm looking for a CPS2 game that one of the ones that that Hotego has just allowed us to play here.
I'm gonna put this in the chat.
Thank you.
This should be the one. Well, you be hanging out with Elon Musk and Grimes and their child, whatever the old 90s internet dial-up sound is spelled. I think that's the name of their kid, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna check Hotego's Patreon
John
post.
D. Bob has interviewed Phone Dork, right?
Yeah, not
years ago.
So, yes, but it was in conjunction with something else, and we were. I think we did the interview right after that or something, but it was cool, but like I could have made it cooler, so I would like to talk to him again, because no complaints against him, only me. But yeah, awesome guy. And he really made an impression on me too, because he was talking about a game that he wanted, and he thought that it was out of publication. And then he asked me before it went live, because I always tell everybody, like, you get final say. I'm never trick anybody or anything. Like, here's the video. Once I get your permission, I'll make it live. And he asked me to go back and change something that I said, or that he said, or cut it out, because he said something like, "Oh yeah, just go download it. It's not in production anymore." And then he found out,
just play the fucking game.
No, I mean, he found out they were still they were still selling them. So he asked me to cut that out because he didn't want to take sales away from anybody. I was just like, you're our kind of people there, Phone Dork. For you to care so much about that, that's awesome. All right, Street Fighter Alpha and Capcom Sports Club. So if I have either of those,
there was a CPS2 game I wanted you to play. I was like, oh man, I wish you would have played that game. Of course, AVP is like my favorite.
Well, they're not all of them are working.
Not all
yet.
of things are on there, right? Yeah.
And oh man,
Find a program.
And I might not have had the files added correctly for it. So we might not actually even be able to play a CPS2 game.
Oh, it's okay. Let's go with everything. Just some other recommendations, I guess, for interviews with the chat is what it looks like is Happy Retro Console.
If they're a good person, and if they're a good person and they're into gaming and it fits on the RetroRGB channel, I would happily interview him. So definitely not GameSack then. Absolutely. No, I'm kidding. Joe's nice to me. So
you have a no ginger policy, right? Or, is he a ginger?
I don't know if those are a protected class, so we might not be able to say that.
We're canceled. Yeah, I'm sorry, I canceled us. No,
Joe Rediford canceled me for making a ginger joke. That would be funny. That would be. He should at least have mock incredulous. I forgot the word that I would use for that, but he should pretend to be offended on Twitter about this.
Feign offense. You should get whenever he starts putting out more videos too. Get that mother effer, Ian, the historic nerd, and confront him about his stretching, his 16-9ing ways.
I don't know if you saw, but
I told him about that thing, if that's what you're talking about.
Yes,
about
like, the 16 have you seen the thing?
Take a look.
I on the last roundup I did, or 2 weeks ago, I think I threw his picture in there and teased him, and he, of course, as always, took it the right way and shared a laugh with me about it.
Sweetheart, man. He's proud of his ignorance, so we can't hate him because he really thinks he's doing the right thing by stretching his 4x3 images to 16:9 because just black bars. Like, oh, come on.
So it's funny, when Smoke and I played the version of this that was converted to CPS2, and absolutely, I want to make this point again. Sorry to repeat myself, but it's important to me here that the person or team, I forgot who converted the CPS 1.5 to CPS2, they were very open about, like, hey, this is a lot of work. It's really hard. Like, it's not finished. Here it is in its current form. So I'm certainly not talking shit, but the original version, or I guess this would be the Mr. FPGA version, definitely plays different. And I was talking to a few people about that. Even Arturo yesterday, I was talking, and we think that this one plays more accurate to the original, and the one that's on the CPS2 kit plays a little too fast.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong about that, but that's just my guess.
I have a dum-dum question about this stuff in a second, but I'm just gonna look through the chat real quick. Brandon Cruz is saying Mighty Pang would be a cool game to see. I think he played one of the Pang games during that Smoke Monster stream. It's the one where you shoot like little stuff at it, like balloons or whatever, bubbles.
Oh yeah, I didn't love that one.
I think you didn't like it. John D is saying Gamester81. That guy's been around for a long time. He's doing game stuff now, right? Like making games.
I don't know anything about him at all, other than
that would be a good getting to know, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard people have really good experiences with him, and I had heard people not. But I mean, you could say the exact same thing about me. So there's no shade being thrown there.
I've only heard good things about him. I will say, we'll just real quick, just going through the chat again. Nick Q is saying, is Giga Wing 2 or Pro Gear working yet? Pro Gear definitely, because I saw you playing that. I know you
No,
played Giga
that
Wing
was on
1.
original hardware that wasn't working yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's the size of the game is, I believe, how Hotego's doing it. So this is the smaller games, and he's just going to kind of work his way up. So that's why the Mega Man 2 and that Puzzle Fighter and everything were able to work. But
Okay.
at the speed that guy churns out core updates, I think by the time you blink, he'll have the next update with more games on it.
Yeah. Nelson Painkiller's asking, is Darkstalkers working?
I don't think so. I don't think that was on the list.
Okay. John D, that's very nice of you to say. I paid Bob to hang out with me, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joe taught me how to clean my stupid games. Hopefully with Brasso.
That honestly, like, I hate to say this because Joe has done so much amazing work with GameSack over the years, and he has so many good videos and so much good things to say. But by far, my favorite one of his videos was when he used like the cheese grater to how to clean your game cartridges. Like, I was laughing so hard because sometimes
he also has a pretty fucking mean Duddleson impression. I
don't think I've heard it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's me, try from my life in gaming. I think that's how it goes, something like that. I actually was with Try when that video that he impersonated him was in there, and Try was like crying, laughing. Mark was just like, he was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, well,
and
I mean,
he was in the,
when we all make fun of each other, it's never mean spirited, or if it is, it's so far over the top that you have to know that we're kidding. Like all the Voltar stuff.
I'm mean spirited, but no one takes me seriously.
Right.
And that's that's where that comes into. No, it's I don't know Joe, so I could never do like a Joe impression. I would feel weird to be like mean, but yeah, like Mark or like Stika or fucking who the hell else, right? Bob. Oh, there's Bob. I just talk about getting a picture from your retro games. Give me money. That's all Bob does.
If you want to do a Bob impression, just do the sound of a beer opening. That's it.
I'm Bob. I'm your friendly neighborhood I'm your heterosexual bear. Oh, okay. Fine.
Look, I don't want to talk shit about any of the previous games that we played today because I had a great time. I love that we're ending on this one though because this is such a good beat 'em up.
No,
it is so good. The speed, the hit detection, just the way everything controls, like this is one of the few things that lives up to the hype. Because a lot of times you get games that are expensive, so people just assume that they're awesome. They're just expensive. This is really awesome.
Oh, I remember what game I was going to request for CPS2. And actually, you were around when I played these on Saturn. The Dungeons & Dragons games, particularly Tower over Mystara. I don't know if those have cores or anything yet, but those are some of my favorite beat-em-ups, and I believe they're CPS2 games. But I'm probably wrong.
Well, it's not available now, and I'm not sure what I did wrong to load the new ones up. I'm sure it's a stupid mistake. And I try not to bother anybody on the Mr. team because I bothered Jamie like 3 times a week, at least. I feel so bad. I don't know why she puts up with me, but she's always really helpful, so I'm like, alright, don't bother with like the stuff that I could probably just read the instructions to figure it out. And I'm sure like last time I screwed up the Hotego update, I just put the files in the wrong place or something, but I'll get to it.
I see Sever's talking about I guess Joe's impressions. Everybody loves the Try impression. They also love the MJR impression. Well, here's the thing: I got impressions of MJR and Try, but I ain't busting that out.
We'll save that for one of your streams.
We'll save that for one of mine, yeah. We don't want to get Bob. Bob's in good terms now. That's good.
Depends who you talk to.
Oh. Okay, well, shit.
Oh, no, good terms with My Life in Gaming. Yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant, like, in general.
Okay. Well, here's a spoiler. Me and Bob are on very bad terms. There's bad blood going on.
Terrible
right
terms. Absolutely terrible
terms. Bob's actually trying to use this stream to expose me. Not like in a good way. He's like, I just want to expose you to more people as a fucking fraud. Oh, Jesus.
I started insulting his island, and that was that.
That's right. You know what? I'm insulting my island. This is not even a Hawaiian shirt. This is Tahitian. So it's funny when people think Voltar hates Bob. Monty G, I used to see like a lot when I was still on social media. I used to see a lot of people ask like, does Voltar really hate you or?
I don't even answer because I just say something like, yeah, we're mortal enemies like Bert and Ernie. Like, that's my favorite one to say. That just fell out of my face one time, and I was like, you know what? I like that. That's going to be my official position on it from now on.
May or may not be living together in a small cramped apartment.
I showed that to a friend of mine who's like, I don't want to be insulting when I call her a little bit prim and proper, but she's a little bit prim and proper. And she was absolutely in tears, dying. She was like, this is so funny. Your friend does this to you all the time? I'm like, all the time. Randomly, with no warning, I'll just get one of these horse jokes or something, and she's like, that's amazing. So, yeah, some people appreciate a weird sense of humor, others don't. That's cool. Alright, I think I'm gonna one more coin, if you will. I can play this one for a while.
Let me do a power cycle through this chat because I have a few things to go through.
Awesome.
Voltar and Bob going back and forth is great stuff. I agree. I guess, yeah, thank you for letting me know that CPS2, the Dungeons & Dragons games, all about the hidden gems. That's correct. That's all this YouTube game is all about. It's getting hidden gems and not the hidden turns. Recommend says, I don't think Dungeons & Dragons got a port outside the Saturn version. Even that one had a ton of loading. There's the PS3 version, the US version, Xbox 360 and PS3 download version. Is apparently not as good as the PS3 physical version, which was actually handled by a different team, I think. And that's why it's a little bit more expensive now. I regret not getting that game for $15. Bob, did you update the core? Is what Mr. Mystery is asking.
Yeah, so I want to be clear about this. For anybody that uses the public cores, so after they're released, after they're finished, you don't ever have to worry about this stuff. You use like the update all script or something, and everything's taken care of. The only trouble I ever run into is when the beta test cores. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get the beta availability. Those are the only ones that I forgot. And yes, I think I put the files in the right place, and then I actually update Mr. every time I use it because Sorg is such a badass with these updates. But yeah, so that means that I either didn't put all of the files in or I put them in the wrong directory. I should have checked before the stream, but to be honest, I didn't think we would find so many games to play. This has been awesome.
All right, here's a quote from Voltar, or perhaps a summary of what he says from some CBL. Yeah, Bob, RetroRGB. Yeah, failing website, failing channel. Says a guy who got 2 million views on his PS1 mods for sucking dick. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No. That's funny.
Right, Bob. That's what he does. He fails.
I love him.
He's fun. John D says, this is awesome. I love spending my Sunday morning with you're awesome, dude.
Yeah.
You're awesome for hanging around, dealing with this, putting up with this. YouTube will think the impression is the real thing and give you a copyright strike. That's right. For whatever, any of these impressions we do, they will like, oh, that's just it's ripping off content, whatever content is. I laughed when someone asked Voltar when Bob was coming back during his hiatus. I don't know. When is Jesus coming back? Jesus is here, Mr. Burton. What does that even mean? Bob is here. Smash this great Voltar impression. Oh, thank you. It's probably my first real Voltar impression.
Yeah, that was pretty accurate.
Oh. Let's go right in there with that soldering iron. Oh, stick it right in. Oh, and that's how you modify your PlayStation.
That sounds pretty accurate to me. Well, thank you all for coming. I've really been enjoying doing these, and as long as everybody keeps showing up, I'll try to do one, at least a couple a month because I have so much fun. Jimmy, as always, man, I love hanging out with you.
Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. I'm always down to hang out. Sorry for ruining your stream.
You were awesome, and I'm glad. I didn't want to pressure you, but I was glad that you came on camera because I'm so often on your streams, and we're both audio only. So now people who jump on when I tweet, come join me and Jimmy. Now you know who it is that you're looking at when we're hanging out together.
I do audio only because it's too much sexy if you come on my streams, Bob.
Aw.
Very true though.
Yeah, if you're still watching this, hit the thumbs up. I don't know why, or hit the thumbs down. But I guess I'm supposed to say that. So either one's cool. Thank you so much for joining, and of course, thank you for the super chats. Those are all pretty amazing and so much appreciated. So thank you guys all very much, and we will see you with the next one.